Hey guys. Oh, what's up, Dave? What's up, Mr. Morgan? So we're gonna have some fun with this one. I know you guys probably already know this. I do this every year about the same time, about August. This is my birthday present to myself, and I've brought a guest along who's every bit that is every bit as hateful towards this individual as I am. So let's go ahead and we're gonna bring in my guest, Adam Chavez, also known as Flipin Bean, the hate fucker of souls. Cheers, everybody. This is my birthday present to myself. My birthday is not for, till the 30th, but we're just going to go ahead and do this now. How are you, Adam?
I'm good. I'm just relaxing, having myself an old-fashioned L'Chaim.
I'm gonna have a, I forget what this is. There's a beer in here. I just don't remember what it was. So Adam and I actually met because Chris Williamson at Fair and Forge said, "Hey, you're doing all this Mars Knife Kickstarter hate online. There's somebody you need to talk to." And he's like, "You need to get a hold of Flipin Bean, Adam." I was like, "Okay." I got a hold of Adam. We started talking about it. He gave me a little bit more information than I already had. And so we'll get into the Paulo Balzano thing. But first, I wanted to ask you how you got into knives. I mean, I know you were a Marine. Sharp, shiny. It's just one of those things that goes hand in hand.
Were means past tense, theoretically.
Oh yeah, I would say Marines are always Marines. That I get it, but I was like,
no, you're going on. You're getting into the Marine Corps. Like 2004, 2005. I just one day I was like, hey, I'm gonna go check out this. I'm gonna buy myself a knife, and then so my first deployment, I think it was the CRKT. It was the M16. No, it was the M21 OZ. It was their bigger version of the M16, but it also had like a big drop point blade on it, Zeidel handles. I think lasted me for like pretty much my majority of my Marine Corps career. I thought AUS 8 was like the best steel. All right. Well, mind you, I didn't know shit on knives. And then I learned about, started looking at ZTs. Like, oh, ZTs are pretty high. I can't afford that.
yeah, right.
And then, and I was like, one day I was like, I got out of my divorce. I was like in the middle of my divorce. And my friend was like, hey, you should
a military guy getting a divorce? Yes.
It's per the course. I was like, hey, my boy was like, you should check out this thing called Blade Show. They show knives. It's in Atlanta. And I was like, okay, I'll do that shit. So I flew out there, didn't know nobody, got like a cheap hotel, which I think it was like, I thought I was making a deal, like it was like $70 a night, but it was also like 15 minutes from the fucking show. So it was like, it was pretty much a wash because you're paying as much for cabs and shit.
Oh yeah.
Went to the Blade Show, started meeting people, met Martin Alexi, met some like OGs in the knife game, John Graham, Bob Terzula. I met a lot of people.
I love Bob. Bob's one of my favorite dudes. I don't even like giving. I'm not a hugs kind of guy, but when I see Bob Terzula, there's just something about that big teddy bear looking motherfucker just wants to make. You're like, come here, Bob, give me a big hug.
Yeah, exactly. And so then I went out to the pit, met everybody. And it was instantly like, this is actually somewhere I would like to be. It isn't just like, hey, come buy our shit, leave. It's like, hey, we're hanging out, we're drinking, we're bullshitting. And then you're kind of like finding out there's more behind the knives. And then I just went from there. So about 2010-ish.
Yeah. Well, that kind of brings to the reason why we're so adamant about like some of these bad actors. And like I said, this isn't just about Paulo B. There's going to be some other people that we talk about that I feel are bad actors in the knife community. It's because
there's a slew of
them. Because like you said, you get into that community and you realize that this is a community I can get behind and I can enjoy and I can have fun in. And then there's those people that just do things that make you want to grab them and chicken choke them.
Well, yeah.
And because it is. And as much as like Super Steel Steve and I definitely disagree on a lot of stuff, and we have different approaches. But I've watched, like, people are like, oh, Steve, give it up with the whole thing with Slicey Dicey. And I'm like, no, don't give it up. Like, you're bringing it because everybody's like, oh, just leave. He apologized. And if you just leave it at that, he's never going to make amends. I still don't think he will. I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt and say there's a good chance he's probably going to do it. But having lived with, like he said, when he talked about alcoholics and drug addicts doing the half truths, like they just do just enough to get you off their back. And then they go right back to what they were doing. And so I grew up with an alcoholic mother, and I've had so many friends that are drug addicted, heroin and cocaine and just addicts. And he's absolutely right. That is exactly what they do. I would like to think that Brian is going to do the right thing, but I can't guarantee he is. And I really have my doubts because what you get, like Steve was saying, you get the excuses up front, and then you get just enough of like, oh, okay, I'm going to go offline, and you can't see what he's doing. Like he's not being public about what he's doing. And there's going to be just enough people. Like one of my paying members or one of my subscribers told me, oh, he reached out to me and gave me a refund on the website thing. And I'm like, yeah, but you know, where's the documents showing these are the people that paid, these are the people who have been refunded, and that these people are saying, yes, I have been refunded. These are the people I owed knives to. These are the people that I screwed over in a giveaway. I want to see some documentation, like Steve says. I'm just not going to be as abrasive about it. Like Steve likes to stay as abrasive personality, and whoever told him that lied because it's caustic. Mm-hmm. What do you think about the whole thing with the Brian thing with Slicey Dicey?
In all honesty, I like with that situation, I've kind of kept my mitts out of it just because it seems less of a part of it. It seems like your standard. Okay, so there's a couple of issues. Number one, whenever you have money involved in any aspect, and this is any industry whatsoever, this could be the porn industry, comic book industry, the knife industry, the fucking
Marine goes with porn first because he's a Marine. Like,
well, if you don't know this, porn actually pushes a lot of our technological changes. It's the reason why we have DVDs. So, because of that, there's always going to be people like, wait a minute, I know exactly, like, to the aforementioned person we're going to talk about later. I know for a fact, like, in his mind of minds, he doesn't think he's in the wrong. He sees himself as a victim, so he creates this thing where he's like, well, I'm in the wrong. I'm the one being attacked. And in some case, there's always going to be that one party. So in the whole, the Slicey Dicey situation, it's if everything was on the table, it's pretty much clear cut. There's just so much stuff that you have to like go through like anything else.
Yeah, I mean,
yes, visibility and keeping everything like on the table, it's pretty obvious then.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like so I'm not gonna lie, I've had things happen on a YouTube channel, and I've been transparent about it. I did things, but I never took down my channel. I've had videos that I put up, and people are like, "Oh, Mike took the video down because I had a video that I took down." Jim Skelton, I did a video about one of his knives, and for some reason, there are so many people that hate Jim. I don't know why. I like Jim. Jim's a great dude, but I had so many people who are like, "Oh, you took your." Oh, hang on a second, I got to do this. Aiden. I just gotta throw me some shekels. No, but like just the Jay Davis thing over again. I was going to mention that later, Aiden.
Oh,
but like,
getting choked out.
I had so much stuff. Like I talked about the knife, and I mentioned some things, and I told Jim, I was like, "Hey, I'm doing this video." I reached out to him. I was like, "I'm doing this video. I don't hate the knife. I'm just pointing out some things I found on it." He goes, "Well, I would have preferred that the owner of the knife reach out to me so I could make it right before he sent it to you to try and give a scathing review." And I was like, "Well, I don't know what he thought." And I was like, "I wasn't going to give it a scathing review if it's not a bad knife just because he's got some problems with it. And you weren't, just because we're friends, you weren't going to get a pass." And so I did the review of the knife, but then I got so much hate that was going on in the comments section, not even directed at me, but directed at different people. And I took the video down because I couldn't keep the comment section moderated. And so I just took the whole video down. And I took it down because my channel, like I was getting warnings from YouTube, like, "Hey, you've got to get on this. This is a warning. We had to take down some of the comments. If it happens again, you get a guideline strike." and that means they got YouTube too. Say again.
The same thing happened with Jim Skelton with the whole Paulo Balzano thing when he first came out with it.
Yeah.
He quickly made a video and rescinded a lot of his comments, explaining he didn't understand the full gravity of the situation.
Yeah.
Knife Thursday took down their interview with him. It used to be in their archives, no longer there.
You can still find it. I can't bring it up because you have to use what's called the Wayback Machine. You can actually find it. You can get back there and actually. Yeah. It's very, very choppy and it's a very, very grainy thing. But you can still find that video. But you can't use the Wayback Machine on StreamYard. It just doesn't work. I tried.
No, I understand.
But
there have been videos that cause controversy or post controversy that have like emboldened it or even hurt it more than it could have. But the good people out there, the people who have integrity, that follow these situations, they'll admit when they're wrong.
Yeah.
And that's like a Jim Skelton situation.
Yeah. And like I said, but everybody was like, oh, Jim and Mike are friends. And he took down that video because Jim asked him. I was like, Jim never asked me anything. As a matter of fact, Jim was like, leave the video up. I did a video about you remember I did a thing about the Fuller Fanatic and Leon Ma. And I put that video up. And everybody's like, oh, you took that video down because you realized you were wrong. I was like, no, I still don't think I'm wrong. I took the video down because it was doing nothing to help Leon because I like Leon.
Oh, I like
Leon Ma. I didn't do any. I was doing nothing to help him with that video. And I was like, okay, it's just it's not my place to get into this. And Leon even asked me, he's like, yeah, if you just leave it be, let me handle it. I'm going to handle it through the proper channels. So, I mean, but
that's what I told Leon too with that whole situation.
Yeah.
I told him the same thing. It's like, hey, like right now, passions are high. Let's take a step back, handle it through the correct ways. At the very least, the guy posting what he posted and getting everything crazy out there. The guy put the thank you, man. Thank you for supporting him.
Thank you, Walter.
Mm-hmm. And so. Like, yeah, the Fuller Fanatic screwed himself. Like, there's very few makers who are going to want to work with him knowing that's his like, the way he works.
Well, especially he released, like, I know what my knives cost them to make. I know what my knives cost raw materials. I know every aspect of what knives I have made cost and all that stuff. Am I going to ever put that out? No, because I'm in a non-disclosure agreement. If somebody shared that information and shouldn't have, well, there should have been some disclosure, but no one's ever going to want to work with somebody like that. So here, I've got Jeremy Russell's got something. The original goal for Slicey's website was $1,500. He got more. If you donated more than $50, you got a lifetime membership because he was going to charge monthly to be able to post on the buy sell. Yeah, I mean, $1,500 to build a website? That seems.
I've seen his website for less.
I'm sorry, my garage door's open because it was like 90 degrees today. It was not supposed to be hot today. And I did live sharpening this morning and it wasn't hot. And then all of a sudden this afternoon, I'm like, my God, it's hot in this garage. So, I mean, I get it, but like, I have friends that build websites and they're like, it does not cost that. Even $1,500, that's a pretty expensive website.
Squarespace is so much cheaper.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm like I said, I want to give him benefit of the doubt. I've talked to Brian, but it just seems like there's too many questions and there's not enough transparency. So,
and even if you are trying to fix it, I mean, there's not an indefinite amount of time. You have to like try to make amends as soon as possible.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. So like that's where I agree with Steve because, like I said, growing up with an alcoholic mother, and I mean, she started treatment and she's been a recovering alcoholic because you never actually stop recovering. She's been a recovering alcoholic since before I ever joined the military. I was like, I think I was my freshman year, maybe I was still in junior high when she went into recovery and went to alcohol and drug rehab. And she's been clean and sober since. But I still remember the half truths, like, oh, well, if you like, I have to do this, and it'll get you halfway, just to get you enough to get people off your back. And then you go right back to what you were doing the week before, the day before, a couple weeks before, like, and not delivering on promises. So
Absolutely.
I'm not saying Brian has a substance abuse problem. I'm just saying that those are the same psychological faults that I'm seeing. You know what I mean?
Or,
And I definitely agreed with Steve on that one.
and if you look at the total opposite, look at freaking Charlie Mike. You know, rest his soul.
Yeah,
Yeah,
God, I miss Matt.
he was very open about the fact that he fucked up. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. He was open, but he messed up massively all the time. He like, I admit it, I'm a man, I messed up.
So you guys don't remember that? That's used to be CMFTW, Matt Freeman. I was actually really good friends with Matt. I talked to Matt because he's another guy that just like I never sleep, and I knew that he would be awake and I could talk to him because he'd be out in his garage making knives. And the week or two after he passed, I had the same feeling I did like the week or two after my dad passed. Something popped in my head, and I was like, "Oh, let me call Matt." And I was like, "Oh shit!"
Yep.
And
But see,
I did the same thing when my dad passed. I was like, "Oh, let me call my dad for that recipe shit." And yeah, I love Matt. That was a great dude. But you're right. He definitely owned up to his. I mean,
Yeah,
he had
and that was the thing.
that knife that he modified, the Spartan that he modified. He called it, what he called it, the Fresno Felon.
Are you talking about the Spartan? Are you talking about the one he did for Well Moon, or are you talking about the one he did for
that cold steel Spartan that he modified? The blade shape left the.
Oh,
the
he
whole...
made dicks over it.
Huh?
I remember. Yeah, I remember. Yeah, I remember.
Yeah,
that
he
one.
called it the Fresno Felon. He named it after himself. I was going to get an actual bell, but Jared Neves said that this actually is better. It's just more unique because it's like a cowbell. But it's,
you need more cowbell.
You need more cowbell. Oh, I forgot. I have a fancy striker for it. Oh, that's even better.
So yeah, no, like in that case, like if anything, Charlie Mike was a definite individual who was like, yeah, I fucked up. I got my life right. Like it doesn't mean that anybody else can't.
Right. And I mean, like I said, not at all trying to suggest. I allegedly, I'm not even trying to say allegedly. I'm just saying, like, I recognize some of the same.
Sorry.
Adam's house is falling sideways.
The Wicked Witch, I'm telling you, man.
Okay, hey, we got a question here. What's Mike and Adam carrying today? I can only show you part of what I'm carrying. Adam's like, I don't have a knife on me.
No, I do. I do have a knife. I have a knife, and I have other things too.
Yeah, we can't show other things. That's what I was getting ready to say. I only show about a half of what I'm carrying, because if I pull out the pew pew, they shut this right down.
Well, I know that the numbers are 365, and I know it's made for an extra large man.
I've got my Norseman because I'm not like doing work and stuff. If I'm in my shorts and stuff, ooh.
This is a Poltergeist. I waited 2 years on this from Jacob. So this
That's
is one
nice.
one of his bigger models with the Spidey hole, titanium, obviously.
That is nice.
And then,
yeah, as always, evening time, I'm usually carrying my Norseman because that's it. I mean, really, I waited so long to get one. I'm going to carry it. Oh, there you go. Adam, where's your cat?
Which one?
Cat? He has a cat. My cat. Hey, buddy. You're terrifying looking, aren't you? We like I told you, we have been adopted by not just one, but several cats. They all have names now. We have one that has some skin problems. His name's Scuzz. We have one that has extra toes. His name's Knuckles. Well, hey, buddy. And then we have Shop Cat. My daughter named him Tab. And then there's one that looks like a Disney cat. Like the cat. We have one cat that, honest to God, it does not look like a real cat. It looks like somebody drew a cartoon cat. And I'm like, you are the prettiest fucking cat I've ever seen. We named him Elsa.
Oh, well, that's Sophia Petrillo and Hoggle. And then we have our other ones, Lilliput, short for Lily. Okay,
so we do have a question here, and I'm going to pop it up here. Where'd it go? Does Adam make knives? Well, I was going to get to it, but since you asked, Mike, I'll go ahead and throw it up there.
So this is my first folder. All right, let's see if anybody who can guess what style of what maker possibly could have helped me with this. All right, so
It's like I'm like people are like, yeah, cool cats. Must be hard to shave a cat. No one's answering.
So this is a knife I made with.
I'm not gonna answer because I remember your post, or I would have.
Yeah, I made this with Alan Foltz. Alan actually, I went to a shop, spent about 4 days making my first knife, like grinding it, drilling holes, tapping holes, the whole, and I was having to hand tap my holes.
Oh, yeah, that's not fun.
Well, no, he had one of those like Steve Kelly hand tapping jigs.
Oh, okay.
Oh, thing's beautiful. Cutting my own screws.
Nothing I like more than breaking a tap off and having to figure out how you're going to get that out of here. Like, huh.
I've heard ferric and titanium because obviously it'll eat the
ferric and titanium. Yeah, that works really good. But if it's in 20 CV, you don't. You really don't want to do that.
You drill a bigger hole and make a bigger tap.
Yeah, then you're like, okay, so now I have to buy new hardware for this knife because I have done effed up.
And it doesn't help when you like standardize your hardware.
Right. That's exactly what I was getting at. To quote Uncle Roger, if your hardware wiggle, you fucked up.
You fucked up. That's why I have two walk fuck boy.
I'm just gonna resign myself. I'm not even gonna hold back anymore. This one's probably gonna be demonetized. We'll see. Mike knows Mike better than Mike. I like that, Aiden. You are absolutely right.
So yeah, no, that's I'm learning to make my own. I've made folders. It's G10 handle. It's a G10 handle with titanium liners.
How long does it take to polish that G10? Because I know how long it took to polish mine.
Actually, the way Alan does it, stupid easy.
Oh yeah.
He basically brought it up to a certain grit on the machine, and then I just hand sanded it with like 1,000, 3,000, 5,000, and then just buffed it, oiled it, and we're gravy.
I used some micro mesh. I did some what was it? Some Red Heart Rosewood burl handles here not too long ago on a knife, and I kept trying to polish it, and I was using the buffer, and it just never came out the way I wanted. I actually remembered that I had some micro mesh for doing rails on 1911 pew-pews and feed ramps, and I was like, well, let me give it a shot, and I took it to 10,000 grit on the micro mesh, and I'm like, done.
Oh yeah, once you figure out a system, plus a micro mesh, it'll bend, so it'll curve with the.
Yeah, I actually bought some of the, the sponge, because I've got some handles that I've got to make for. I have some customers that are asking for some knives, and I know that I need. So I got some of those sanding blocks, the foam sanding blocks for contouring handles, because I don't have access to all the machines that I haven't gotten. Elliot is still setting up stuff, and I don't. All I have is I have a 2x72 with a 1-inch Scotch-Brite wheel on it. And it's got a flat platen and it's got a 10-inch hollow wheel. And that's all I've got. And I'm like, well, I definitely can't do all the things I could do at Elliot's shop. So I've had to come up with creative ways of working around it. So, but yeah, that's, I was going to say, the last time I polished G10, it wasn't as bad as the first time I did it, but yeah. So they already kind of led into this, and there's enough people here. All right, let's get some comments. Do you guys want to see the Paulo Balzano stuff? Do you guys want to talk about that? The main reason that we're here? Actually, you know what? I want to talk about something before we get into that. I honestly do. So,
what, like this shirt?
Yeah, we'll get into the shirt in a minute. The counterfeit knives. Are you as hateful towards people that try to justify that as I am? If you try to justify buying counterfeit knives in my comment section, you get a warning. If you try to but every bit is that, you get blocked. I won't let you make another comment on my channel, period. Because I know the fact is I know the people that are making these knives and designing them.
Oh yeah. So quick question, when you mean counterfeit, and I'm just trying to make sure I got the definition correctly for this situation. Are we talking about people who make clones of knives? Or are we talking about people who make an exact copy and market it as that specific knife?
Both. I mean, because when I'm talking counterfeit or knockoff, I'm talking like a counterfeit or a knockoff where they're using the logos. I do understand that people make knives that are really similar. Like if you were to look at the design that I'm trying to get marketed and Elliot's Stinger, we accidentally made the same knife. And he was like, I thought he'd be upset. And he was like, well, I guess I just showed you all the stuff to like, he's like, if you accidentally made the same design I did and we weren't doing it at the same time, he goes, that means I taught you everything I needed to teach you. He's like, and I was like, wow, that's a compliment. But that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about like straight up counterfeit. Like this looks the same. It's marketed as people are selling it.
I think
they're using
garbage.
the same name. Yeah, they're garbage.
No, I think it's garbage. I actually, believe it or not, I deal with the same thing out here. So Ravencrest Tactical is out of Mesa, Arizona. I live in Mesa, Arizona. All right. So I see them all the time. And I've seen them at like cop conventions when I was working for a gun shop. I've seen them at selling at their table. And I'll pick up their knife. I'm like, oh, this looks like a Trodoon. Or, oh, this looks like a Ultratech. Or this has the same body type as an older Ultratech. Because the Microtech brand is kind of like, it's not the gold standard, but it is the standard when it comes to just a good working automatic. Don't get me wrong. You got Lightning Tackle. You got a couple other ones like your Benchmades and your Hogues, which are made by Benchmade. But there's a distinct difference between trying to give homage or accent that brand, or like, there's only so many different ways you can make a car.
Exactly.
And so I get that. And like, there's only so many ways you can make a knife. There's so many angles, so many curves that just work. And I'm like, yo, where'd you come up with the idea for this? Like, oh yeah, no, we have a company, and I know that they're made on DHgate and Alibaba and Wish out of the same factory, and then they buy the parts and they get them rubberized or they get them fucking hydro dips or whatever the hell they do. I know they're garbage. Like I've had cops like, oh, what do you think about this? I'm like, it's garbage.
It's garbage.
They're like, hey, they go, if you want, I'll give you the contact over at Microtech. They do a Leo program, $180. How much that cost you? $250. And they're like, yeah, $180.
The guy that ran their Leo program actually is not there anymore. Corey is no longer running that.
Corey isn't there anymore, but there are other people.
Yeah, they definitely have. You can get into it. Like I still qualified the last time.
We both still do.
Yeah, we both qualified.
As long as you have your DOD.
Well, at the time I was working for the Department of Defense in law enforcement, and I'm a retired military. So I quite like, yeah, you qualify for all of it.
Yeah, and granted, they only had X amount of different models, which I don't understand why the combat Trodoon is not on there when the word is combat in it.
I don't know, but I hate
like
it. I hate it. I don't like knives that are similar, but I get it. Like knives that look so similar that like, that's almost the same knife. I don't like it, but I do understand, like you said, there's only so many designs. There's only so many ways a knife can be made. You're eventually going to overlap and step on each other's toes.
Oh, yeah.
I don't like the theft of the intellectual property, and especially like when companies like that, those fake Norsemans that are coming out of Hong Kong, to the point where they've put the engraving in the same places. Their logo looks so similar, and they're still calling it a Norseman. I actually destroyed one of them on the channel. My buddy David shot it with a bow and arrow, and then I ground it into dust. But I can tell you, having ground 20 CV and M390 to make knives,
it's probably 440.
I can tell you it's not M390. Like I used a worn 120 grit belt and it just went through it. Like I was like, that is not M390. So Aiden, I'm going to answer your question here, Aiden. It is, it's absolutely not the same. Like if you're making a drop-in blade, like I have one of the Franken knives, drop-in blades here. I'll grab it a little bit later when we take a break, but it's in a Benchmade 940 and it's a really elaborate, awesome looking blade. He did a really good job. Like if you're going to do a knife where you're questioning whether you're going to be able to get the tolerances so you don't have blade play, Benchmade's the way to go because they all come with blade play. So you may as well just make a drop-in blade for Benchmade. No one's ever going to know because it's just going to have blade play anyway. So like, all right, I blade play when I said it. So, hey. But that's a completely different thing. The other thing that really irritates me, and I was going to ask you about this, there are some channels that are just straight up like they do it. They're like, oh, let's compare this knockoff to the real thing, and we'll just look at it. And so like Wavester, what is it? Wavester 64. He hasn't put a video up in 4 years. But like when I first started my channel, I was like, oh, you should get with me. I can get you hooked up with these guys who can give you all these clones and knockoffs and you can review them. And I was like, you can suck a fat baby dick backwards and choke on it. But then here we go. This is the one that's going to raise a lot of hate and discontent. Patty's potato peelers. Like, I don't like that dude. And he can say all he wants about like not liking Steve and like it's Steve's fault. And then we should just shut up about the slicey dicey thing. But that dude has specifically shown and is trying to convince people to buy counterfeits. And I don't follow his channel anymore. Those are the two channels that immediately popped to mind. So
I know for a fact in a lot of Facebook groups it'll pop up, specifically like knife customs and trading, knife a couple other ones, and they'll post it up and they'll just be like even the admins will like they'll like lock the comments because they know it's going to be a shit show.
Yeah, I mean, but like I said, like I've gotten got a couple times too. That's the other thing. Like people are like, so what? They're making it, they're marketing it. You go to these websites, they're telling you they know that they're not making a real thing. I was like, it's not. That's not the big. That's the upfront side. Like those guys in Hong Kong, yeah, they're making Norsemen, and they're saying that they're making. They tell you right now, we're not the actual Norsemen. We're doing this, and it's the guys like that get got. I got a fake Strider, and I got a fake the Spanish. God, I can't even think of the brand name, but it was at any rate. So I got twice and wound up getting counterfeits because the fact is, what people forget is the other side of this counterfeit market is guys that will buy those knives and then go on eBay and sell them as the actual thing and be charging they'll charge like $700-800. That's a comparable price. Like, oh, I just got it. I can't keep it. And they'll sell it on eBay. And then the guy gets it. And because there's proof he got the item and it's so hard to prove to eBay. And I think it's better now, but a lot of times you just get ripped off. You're screwed.
So in those cases, horrible people. But just to take people out of the whole knife game of it, just think about it this way. It's like putting counterfeit money into the market. You're inflating prices for nothing. You're actually hurting the market more than you can help it. So in that retrospect, it was much like, it's like you see a lot of these people putting out these Praetorians and Praetorian ties to the point where, like, as much as I'm not a big Medford fan, like, he has this thing, cool for him, like, happy for him, but they're garbage.
Greg's an interesting dude.
Huh?
Greg is an interesting dude. You just got to catch him. He's not riding cotton. Like you can't go to Greg's table. You got to go feel it out. You got to see how Greg is interacting with the customer in line in front of you. And then you're like, yeah, we're not filming at Greg's table today.
Yeah, he has his days where he's like F this. But yeah, no, it's when you have these makers out there, not makers, sorry, when you have these manufacturing companies, they know how much it's going to go for by saying it's a hinderer or saying it's a, and there's so many hinderers out there. It's like, okay, what's a few fake ones out there? Like I've already seen fake Chavez's, I've seen fake Norsemen, I've seen a slew of fake CRKs, and
that's the big.
If they're only high end items I've seen, but in retrospect, and just take this with a grain of salt. I know for a fact that the company who makes the Shirogurofs, they sell blems through Wish.com. You're paying $200-300. You're paying $200 to $300 easy.
Yeah.
But you're buying a blem, like something markings off, something that they won't market it as a Shirogurov. Some might have the logo on it, but they're not clones and they're not fakes. They're just not perfects.
I will tell you something that I found, and it's going to get brought up in a future podcast. And I've got to make sure I have the right person. Might be something I bring you back for. I found an application, an online application that shows shipping information to and from companies. And you can pick a specific company and find out who they ship to. And then you can pick a specific company and find out who they receive shipments from. All shipping data is transparent and it's free.
Well, it has to be. And
I have found in my passing through a company that has really irritated me because I'm friends with Andy that owns Half Face Blades. Not real good friends, but I know Andy. Like I've met him through Elliot. He's a great dude. Prior SEAL, if you guys don't know this, Prior SEAL, Special Operations, great dude. Not a dude you really want to mess with. And there's a company that basically are kind of like making knives that are almost identical to his. And they like to say that they're 100% American made. And I do have some proof that says that they are receiving things from offshore. And that's something we'll get into in a different video, but that's some spicy dirt we're going to throw in a future video.
The only thing that I can say about that is because I had to deal with that with the whole quartermaster drama when I released their build of blading and everything. I think we're already past the point of it being an issue for legally.
Yeah.
But
you're talking about the 50% thing?
Yeah, 51%. 51% of production cost has to be in America. So that
I understand that, but that's not how they're marketing it.
Oh, no, absolutely not.
There's a definite. I understand all that. I do understand all that, and I know people get upset when I have knives made offshore. But the fact is, I can't afford any of the OEM companies that are. What's going on here? Have we got people arguing? Are you arguing with someone, Casper?
It's something about somebody. I can't see the comments. I don't know.
I don't know what's going on. I just saw Casper calling somebody a drama queen. But no, I just I have stuff made offshore, and it's mainly because the only company I could even get to even talk to me about it was Millet, and I don't like anything about Millet. And there's a bunch of drama about them online. I'm not going to get into any of that. I just couldn't find a company that was going to do it at a price that would make sense. I couldn't find a company that was going to do it at the quality that would make sense. And basically everyone else wanted to tell me I was going to have to pay so much. So I had knives made offshore just because I had designs that I wanted to bring to market because they were viable designs and they've done well. I'm not going to say I don't want to have knives made in America. I'm just going to say it's really, really hard to get it at a price point where anyone will buy the item.
And also look at the amount of people who want them. Look at what's the name? Look at Ramon Chavez. Ramon can't keep up with the demand,
right?
And even if he could, like it's just him, his wife, and like his kids.
Well, and he cut ties with his partner, and that's why the name change happened. Remember Chavez American Made. Now it's just Chavez
Knives.
That's what I was gonna say. I'm like, it's just allow me to look. It's just Chavez Knives now. But well, I mean, I think we've beat that one. I mean, I don't like the counterfeit, and I don't like if you're gonna have stuff. I already know, 99% of the stuff in the world's made in China. The whole world's made in China, and they're painting it with lead. But the fact is, like, I get frustrated with stuff that goes on in the knife world, and if you're gonna do something, just be transparent about it. That way, your customers like, okay, so he gets some parts made in China, and then he assembles them here. I get that. Maybe it's cheaper for the machining. So, all right, are you ready? We're 38, 29 people here. Let's get to the prime discussion. Let's talk about the shirt. Show us the shirt first.
Oh, the shirt?
Show us the shirt. I can't get the picture to load the one I wanted to show you. I actually had a picture of a crack pipe with a flower in it. I was like, I had edited it and stuff. Freaking great. So, how did you come into contact with the whole Paulo Balzano thing? And then we can get into the whole, like, I want to hear your story about your interactions with Paulo Balzano, and then we'll get into the whole Kickstarter, which is how I found out.
Okay, so.
Oh, Snuz is like, can I have a pee break first? Can I have a pee break first?
Pee break.
Does everybody need a pee break? We can talk about something else. Just for a second. I'll give you a minute. Go pee fast. No, I love the story, and I love the picture. I'm gonna try and find the picture. Allegedly, LOL. So, guys, I wanted to bring this up. I don't see him in here yet, but I have got a couple of new paying members. Nathan is one. He's one of the fairly new ones. And then we have I have House YouTube is a premium tier member. So don't forget, guys, if you're premium baseline member, you're entered into the giveaway. And I had the knife. God damn it. I'm a retard. I had the knife sitting here. I don't know what I did with it. It's probably way over somewhere else. It's a really nice knife. I'm giving away a knife. You go find the video. You can see what I'm giving away. So yeah, needed beer. Matt's like, yeah, I need a beer. Wait, Paul, what's this about? Oh, Mr. Morgan. Mr. Morgan, are you in for a treat? So
you're gonna learn today.
I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna let you have the whole screen. Oh, 2A Dave. Thank you very much, sir. So if you guys don't know, I have memberships. People support the channel. It's awesome. So I like to try and do little things for them, especially call them out in videos when they're here. So maybe you should log in from that family account so that I can make sure that I call you out, because if you look, see how Aiden has the little thingy? I mean, we know Aiden has a little thingy, but I didn't need to call it out real loud. But so, all right, here you go. I'm going to go over. Hey, shit. Well, hang on a second. Come here, Shop Cat. Come here, buddy. Come here. Hey, come here. No, there you go. Come here. This Shop Cat. He's a big fuck beast. Big beast, aren't you, buddy? Say hi. Say hi. I love this cat. Like he's gonna wind up in my lap before the end of the podcast. Do you want to go in? So, all right. You tell me how you had your interactions with Paulo Balzano. I'm gonna let you have the entire screen, and I'm gonna shut this garage door a little bit.
Well, I'm not that pretty, but okay.
You're right.
All right, this is the unedited version of the Paulo Balzano hate fuckery. So, Spring Fling, approximately 2011, 12. I meet
Sorry, I unmiked. I don't know what happened, but somebody gave some Shop Nako money. Well, wait, he's coming back. I don't know what happened. You lost your wrench. Well, I'll tell you what. I'll figure it out so that I have both. I'll make you a moderator on both, or I'll have Nico do it. That's how we got it done the last time. So apparently, hey, there you are.
Sorry, technical difficulties.
What you guys didn't see before, so I'm gonna go ahead and throw this out there. What you guys didn't see before was Adam was picking up his janky ass rig with tape and taping stuff up to his computer. And I'm like, are you really taping your camera setup together? So go ahead, finish your story.
I didn't bring out my ring light. Anyways. All right, so go to Spring Fling, meet Paulo Balzano. He's got one of his FOUs. That's going to come back into the story here. So the FOU was one of his first models. He pre-sold several of them. I want to say over 20, from my understanding. A lot of fucking money. All right, pre-sold them, never made them. Boom, out the window. This is the first foray on the USN. Go forward to Next Knife. Next Knife he works out is with Alpha Hunter. It was supposed to be the mini Warhorse. You can probably find the threads out there about that. So there was some disagreement about if it was a custom, if it was a mid-tech. This is right at the beginning of mid-techs. So then Alpha Hunter says, Alpha Hunter calls out and says, "No, we're not doing this anymore." So then Balzano, to quote unquote recoup his costs, tries to sell the 5 Alpha Hunters mini Warhorses that he covered. This is when when the Warhorse was like $750 to $800 a pop. And for those who don't know, it's the whole back Alpha Hunter Warhorse. They're huge.
Yeah. And there's I've seen a bunch of counterfeits of them, and yeah,
they're not hard to counterfeit.
No,
it's a lot of material.
Yeah,
they're not really intricate. It's a very straight line. Like it's not that it's not a good design. It's just they're not super complicated. So, anyways, the whole deal doesn't go through. Paulo decides to, and Paulo's real name is Paul Steck. But
Yeah, I was
Paulo
gonna say
decides.
I had some pictures that I was gonna try and bring up, but I can't seem to find the files.
I know.
So you go ahead and keep talking. I'll pull this up. I'll let you. We'll do that. You go ahead and do that while I pull up the files.
So yeah, if you pull something up, I can reference to it. So anyways, so Paulo decides to try to sell the knives on his own. Quickly gets taken down. Doesn't happen. So then fast forward. This is his third time. Third time I meet him at this is the first time I meet him. So third time is his last strike. He meets me and a couple other people at Spring Fling, at Steel Flame. For those who don't know Steel Flame, they're the ones who make like the koi pocket, the pocket clips that are all crazy. Oh yeah, that's a clip from we're gonna get to that part of the story soon. That I get really bored with memes. So he goes, hey, I'm coming out with this knife. It's called the FOU. He had a very, very not well put together FOU. It wasn't even locking. It was basically at that point when knife makers make a folder to make sure everything's parallel so that way you can open up and close without any issues. You can tell there's nothing rubbing. Go forward. He gives it to somebody guy at the event because it was collateral for the FOU he was supposed to get, and he told him to keep it hostage. He goes to my friend, who's now we're going to bring into this Arena Knives. So the big players in this story are going to be Arena Knives, Zodiac Engineering, ran by a guy named Ken Spalding, Paulo Balzano, and PDW. So go forward. They come up with the candidate. So that's Arena Knives. So Couch, for those who don't know, if you can zoom in, Couch
I can't.
is
I think that's well.
that's
Hang on a second.
that's
Let me go to the actual page. I think I can.
That's Zodiac Engineering. So this is roughly when him and Dario Caston got together. So go forward. So the deal was that Arena Knives, Paul Balzano, and PDW were going to come up with a knife called the Candidate. The Candidate is similar to what their Badger is now, but the bigger version would be the one that they make with 365 terrain. For those who don't know, okay, so it's similar. There are some subtle differences. So Paulo goes to Arena and says, "Hey, can I use your shop?" Arena had an amazing shop. Like it was vacuum tables. It was on top of a stone orderstry place, so they could they had all the grinders. They had everything they needed. Like perfect area. And we're talking media tumblers industrial level media tumblers.
Yeah.
And so then he said, okay, I'll get into this. And he asked me, Arena goes, hey, do you think I should do this? I go, listen, man. I go, ultimately, your knife, your business, your decision. Would I let this guy come in here? No. Personally, no. That's not my thing. I don't like him. But third time's a charm, whatever. So he says, I'm going to let Paulo in. So I told Paulo straight to his face, I said, listen, man, if you fuck up and you fuck him over, I'm going to hate fuck your soul. He goes, okay. But you're not understanding this. Like, I'm going to hate fuck your soul. I'm going to make it to where, you can't sell knife number uno because I fucking hate you so much. And mainly because Arena had two beautiful daughters, wife, the whole business.
Well, Elliot did work with Arena Knives, and from what I understand, he's a great dude.
Giuseppe's great people. So at this point, everything's going good. We're getting ready for the gathering. I think it was the 7th or 6th one. I think it was G6.
I think it's G6 because I have a picture that would indicate your hatred for Paulo.
I have that picture. Yeah, it was G6. So we go to Gathering 6. And for the people who don't know, the Gathering is a knife show in Vegas, put on by the USN people. It's a great show. Smaller than Blade, but more intimate, but less douchey than the New York Custom Knife Show where you have to spend fuck you money. So, anyways, yeah, that was from G6. That was Paulo Balzano in his natural habitat. He was brown bagging outside the door, like literally like 5 feet from the door. And like I snapped that picture of him because I'm walking by like, no, motherfucker, you're caught.
Now I want you guys to remember, if you guys remember, this is the dude that said if he saw me at a show, he was going to kick the crap out of me.
Oh, dude, this guy's like 100. He's like 105 pounds soaking wet. Like I would have, yeah.
And the guy that he told that to knows me personally and was like, I don't think you want to try to do that. I don't think you want anything to do with that big angry Viking. I think you should just leave it be.
So yeah, exactly. So they're working on the show. They're getting ready, and all of a sudden, like right before the gathering, I get a call from Seffi, and I'm like, "Yo, what's up, man?" He's like, Do you have Paulo's number?" I go, "The only number I have is the one I gave you." He's like, "All right." Well, I go, and I just kind of heard it in his voice, and I'm like, "Did he disappear with the knives?" He goes like, "Yeah, he disappeared with the knives." The knives were 98% done. Right? And he goes, knives were 98% done. And like a true, like, here's the problem. Paulo is an artist. That's what he grew up as. He's an artist. And what do artists think? Nothing's ever perfect. He wanted the perfect, that's the perfect. That. You show me a knife maker who could tell me things are perfect. There is nothing perfect about any knife. There's always like small discrepancies. Some take a microscope. Anyways, Paulo took off the knife. Apparently, what he did was he bet the guys over at PDW that he could make it to San Francisco. That was the hashtag. Still going strong.
I'm just having fun with the pictures you sent me.
No, so he took off the knife. He told them, "Hey, I'm gonna have him ready for G6. I'm gonna have him ready for G6. Don't worry. I'm gonna have him ready for G6." G6 happens, and no knives. He had the parts. He showed up with the parts. And at this point, Giuseppe was done. He was like, "I'm out. I'm just gonna call it a loss. I'm fucking out." And,
I'll answer, Mike. I'll answer that one when Andy. I'm really good friends with Aaron. Aaron's good people. We'll answer that one after.
They're purpose driven. I'll just leave it at that. Anyway, at the show, I walk up to Paulo and I said, and because I see him at Gustavo or GTC's table, like trying to show him his machine. Because if anybody knows anything about GTC, their machining is fucking tits. It's perfect. Like Gustavo's crazy with it. I think they're 60% more art than they are knife, but they're great knives.
You talking about GTC?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean they're not. I love them. They're awesome, but yeah, you're right. They're not super fun. They're a lot like some of the Elijah Isham designs. Gorgeous, artful things, but just not real functional, in my opinion.
Oh, I got you. So I walk up to him and say, "Hey, you got Giuseppe's money. You said you were going to have Giuseppe's money. Mind you, it's me, Paulo, Giuseppe near the tables." And he's like, "Well, I already dealt with enough crackheads and I already know where this is going." So I'm like, "Nah, bro, all right, cool." I go, "Just remember, I told you I was going to hate fuck your soul." And I go, "And I don't wear a condom. This shit's about to start." And so I left to lunch, and I'm coming back from lunch. And as I'm coming back from lunch, now mind you, to go to the gathering, you're going up a 2-flight escalator. So it's 2 flights escalator. And so I'm standing there, and as I'm going up, I see him as I'm going down, because I had left something at one of the restaurants, I see him coming up with cops. So I turn around, get back on the thing, and I run up to Jer, who runs the USN situation, and I was like, "Hey, man," I go, "I know you guys want drama. This is what's happening. He showed up with cops. I'm just telling you ahead of time to let you know what is happening here." So I'm standing out, I'm talking, and I ran over to like Arena, and I ran over to PDW to kind of give them a heads up of what's happening here. And all of a sudden, I get a tap on the shoulder, and one of the US Ed admins was like, "Hey, man, they want to come talk to you." So I walk up to him like, "What can I do for your office?" They go, "You touch this man?" I was like, "No." He goes, You didn't touch this man. I go, you can check the cameras. I didn't touch him. And for those who don't believe cameras are everywhere, yeah.
They are everywhere. I work counter surveillance, counterterrorism, and physical security.
There is
Everywhere.
no empty angles. There are no empty angles in those casinos.
None.
Especially near the like the conference halls. There are no empty angles.
All those areas, all those big open areas, you think that would be a safe place to do stuff? That is the worst place to be if you don't want to be on camera. It's the last place. It's horrible.
So the cop goes, "Did you threaten him?" I go, "Depends." And he goes, "What do you mean depends?" I go, "Well, I told him I was gonna hate fuck his soul." I go, "So therefore, if a soul is intangible, I can't touch him. So therefore, I just said spiritually, I'm gonna fuck him." And fucking, everything all right?
I'm just checking. So Ken Wong, you said you couldn't communicate. That's probably if you said something. There's a good chance that one of my moderators blocked you.
So, anyways, so then you were at the same one. Then that's when you come in, and he's trying to sell the knife you were supposed to pick up, because I saw him talking to Justin Laffer. I saw him talking to several other prominent knife like collectors.
Yeah,
and he was trying to sell this super prototype knife, and the problem is that he wanted to do like a $10,000 worth of like machining in a knife that would have like drove the price up to $1,500 a pop.
Yeah.
And then so then that's when you came in.
That's when I came in?
Well, yeah, because you were supposed to pick up a knife for your friend, remember?
No. That wasn't me.
Oh.
That was a friend of mine, and that's the guy that I knew through Chris. And that's when Chris is like, "Oh, you need to talk to Adam about the whole Paulo Balzano thing."
So
I never had anything I was supposed to pick up from Paulo. I know a guy that was supposed to because he was friends that I met, and Chris knew him too.
Got you. All right, so Paulo he takes the knife, the one knife he has.
Yeah.
And he was supposed to deliver to your friend, but he also was trying to sell it to several different collectors for big money.
Yeah.
And then they all turned him down. And at this point, the USM people told him, "Hey, you can't come here anymore. You're banned for life. Can't be brown bagging. That's screwed up." And then I was like, okay. So I heard about this. So then, from my understanding, Paulo left the gathering. He drove back to California for where he's from LA, and he proceeded to get pulled over somewhere around like the high desert.
Oh, I have that one in the chamber ready because this one just makes me giggle.
So this is Mr. Paulo Balzano, or aka Paul Steck, aka whatever the hell else he wants to call himself. Paul O got pulled over. A couple things. One, so there was an issue of drugs, and there was an issue of a gun and a high cap mag. So from my understanding, I think it was a Glock 19 or Glock 26. I can't remember which one it was. It's a gun. So Paulo is a felon. He's a known felon. All right, before this, for getting screwed up with the cops all the time.
Yeah.
He's driving back. A cop pulls him over. There's painkillers because it's him and his girlfriend in the car, and the cop finds them with Paulo. Now, I'm not a cop, but I do know for a fact if somebody is holding painkillers and they are prescribed to themselves, like he stated it was for his girlfriend, and
it has to be in a prescription bottle.
Has to be a prescription bottle, has to have your name on it, and it has to have like the correct dates to be valid between.
It has correct dates. It has to have the correct address. That's listed on the prescription has to match the address on your ID. There's a whole lot of things because I did law enforcement for a long time. There's a lot of things that go along with these guys. If you carry a prescription, if you've got prescription drugs and you're going somewhere, you better have that fucking bottle.
Yep.
Telling you.
Not a baggy bottle. So what happened, Mr. Paulo decided to say, "Hey, those are my girlfriends. Cool." Cop did a search of him, found a Glock on him, found a high cap mag, meaning over 10 rounds for California. And he went to prison, he went to prison. He went to jail for like, I think it was like 6 months, 3 to 6 months.
Dude, can you imagine that dude in prison? They'd have passed him around like a party favorite.
Bro, I kept on posting up the different houses he went to. It's like, oh yeah, he's in this cell block now, and now he's in this cell block, or people are like, how the fuck? He's like, don't worry about it, bro.
Yeah, about how I know things. I know things.
So then, like, at this time, when this happened, Ken Spalding of Zodiac Engineering was all over Blade forums saying, I'm not working for him. I'm not with him. I'm not his partner. But the person was guaranteeing shipment. He was guaranteeing that, yes. He was guaranteeing.
There we go.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna get into his grandiose endeavor that happens a little bit later in a moment.
We're almost there. So then but yeah, Ken was like, I'm from Zodiac Engineering, and he called me out directly. He was like, this guy doesn't know what he's talking about. The business is between me, Arena, and PDW and Paulo. He has nothing to do with him. And I was like, but I was there and I made a promise, so I'm going to keep that promise. So
I'm trying to bring it up. I have that up as well.
Yeah, it was the one that he had up earlier with the couch.
Yeah, I'm trying to.
So Zodiac Engineering, and actually, if you look now, they still have knives on there that are Paulo's knives, even though he wasn't working for him. So
I think it's on page one.
But basically, he was like, I don't work for him. Like, I don't know who you think you are. I don't know why everybody says I'm his partner. But he was guaranteeing his shipments. He was guaranteeing the parts were being made. He admitted to making parts for him, but he was like, well, no, he was paying me to make parts. I'm not a collaborator. But you are. It's fucked up, but you are.
I didn't see this the first time I went through here.
Which one?
Can you see? You guys can't see it yet, can you?
Nah.
Hang on a second. I'm bringing it up. I was scrolling through this trying to find.
Oh yeah. And you know who Lucifer is, right?
No, I don't.
He runs the other one, Jersey Devil.
Oh, Jersey Devil. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I have a profile on there too.
I have one on there as well. So Ken's going through this. He's saying, I don't work for him. I don't work for him. I don't work for him. And at this point, Daryl Caston breaks into the picture. He's like, yeah, man, I'm going to work with Paulo. And I call him up and I'm like, yo, man, why? I go, listen, your business, you don't have to justify it, but I'm just going to forewarn you. I mean, you have a better chance of, don't do it. It's not a smart idea. Nothing about this is a smart idea. He's like, you got to trust people. You have to have faith in people. And I come off as a curmudgeon and I don't give a shit. So I'm like, but no, you don't. You don't have. I go, I should, but I don't. Nobody should. It's like, he's like, okay. So then 2 years later, Daryl calls me up. And he's like, yeah, you were right. It happens. I'm sorry, I didn't listen. It was like, not my business. To the point where I almost fought his other partner, Voss Offering.
Oh, there we go. That's the name I was hoping we'd get to.
So here's the weird thing about this whole situation. Like, at this point,
okay, so that I can pull it up, just out of curiosity, so I can pull it up. What was Voss Offerin's project?
He made pry bars. He made gigantic single finger knuckle dusters that acted as like beads, and they would also act as cigar holders. But his big thing was
the Kickstarter for it.
Was the Raptor. It was called the Raptor.
That's what it was. But anyway, your buddy, I'm sorry.
So Voss Offering sees me at G7 or G8, and he goes, and I was talking to somebody, and I was like, don't fucking talk to me, man. He goes, oh, you talk to your mother with that mouth? I go, first off, my mother's in prison. I don't give a fuck. I go, second off, I will hate fuck you right now. I will fuck your shit up. And he was just like, and it was to the point where Jeremy Marsh had to be like, "Hey man, come on over here. Let's talk over here." Like, bad.
Okay,
But
we're out of luck because the Raptor is no longer listed. Like, so that Raptor Kickstarter it's not on there.
He should have. I don't know. I will have to find it. It was a very basic pry bar.
Well, we'll be able to see it. You guys will be able to see. You guys will be able to see it because it's in one of the things that's on the Kickstarter.
Okay,
but we'll get to that when we get to that.
So then, all of a sudden, I hear this buzzing in the air that, oh, the Mars knife by Paulo Balzano. Like this is his Ocean's 11 look. All right, that's what this is. This is his Ocean's 11. Like he thinks he's gonna get away with it type situation. He starts the Kickstarter, and people are like, get on it. And immediately, as soon as I see it, it's like, you're fucking stupid. You're not going to see a fucking knife.
This is about the time that I really started looking into the Paulo Balzano thing. This is where Adam and I kind of crossed paths. Is about this time. I had a friend that was supposed to pick a knife up from him in Vegas, couldn't get the knife, never fucking got the knife, and all that shit. And I was like, fucking flaky maker, and then I got to talk to Adam, and then he's like, "Oh, have you looked at the Kickstarter?"
Yeah. So he starts the Kickstarter. The Kickstarter funds itself in 3 days. In 3 days, they made over $42K, right? And I'm just like, you're not gonna see. I go, prove me wrong. Hopefully, like, now mind you, the Mars was the most basic Warncliffe you could get. It was like putting. Yeah, see, it's right there. Thumb disc, not really huge. That's the Raptor right there. That's the Raptor.
And it was going to come as a set. And if you guys want to get in on this, there's still one left. There was only 9 backers. If you guys want to get in on this, there's still one left.
But hey, you get it delivered back in 2016.
Well, I kind of walked through the timeline on this with them last podcast because I had gotten a little tipsy, and I'm like, yeah, we're going to talk about what's going to happen in the next podcast.
So if you look right here, if you look at the last, QSP Penguin. If you look at the top one, right, it was last updated on June 4th, 2020. So over a year ago.
We'll look at the updates. And so the campaign, here's what I wanted to point out. The campaign, if you scroll down, there is a ton. Oh, wow, he was going to do those. I forgot he was going to do those.
Yeah, he was going to. But wait, go back up. Wait, go down. Keep slowly, keep on going. All right, do you see how uneven this fucking... How's your San Mai so fucked up?
Was this...
That's San Mai.
Wow, that's Nichols XHP Core Damascus. I don't know.
Like how much... You ground off all the jacket to like... Uncle Roger would say, you fucked up.
If your knife looks like someone spilled something on counter, you fucked up.
If your knife still looks like blank when you grind it, you fucked up. So...
Exactly, Jeremy.
But it's sold like no one's bullshit. Plus, he did a full. So Paulo's big design, his grand design. There was 2 things. Number one, he was a narcissist. He wanted to.
Look how even he got it from side to side, bro.
That's what I'm saying. Even it is from side and you know what he was grinding these on? He was using his fucking surface grinder. He set everything up on jigs and just surface ground everything off.
I don't know if so my camera is still playing. I don't know if you saw, like, I got ready to take a drink and I was like, wait, what?
Yeah.
I used an angle grinder for it,
No, surface grinder, not an angle grinder.
Looked like crap. I saw the campaign. It looked like crap for the money. I did not support it. Well, so the fact is,
but here's the thing. Here's the great, like, grand design I love of it. If you did certain things on your Kickstarter could not force you to give the money back. They would just say, fuck it. The whole point of this is to see if it'll work. It didn't work. You have a good day.
Yeah, that was here you go. Aiden, exactly. So I was going to bring that up. So 2 things that Kickstarter stuff that Thunderfoot always talks about is flex goals. And there's another guy, his name's he's a video game YouTuber. And they talk about flex goals. And what happens is with flex goal is you don't have to ever provide anything. So if you get 1/10 of the project.
Hold on 1 second. I'll be right back. Give me 2 seconds.
He's going to be right back. At any rate, Flex Goal allows you to do stuff where you don't actually have to provide anything. Thank you, Aiden, for the cash. I went to go get some beer. I brought my fancy bottle opener for this one since it's my birthday, and I brought myself a special beer. So we've had 2 regular beers because I'm only having 3 beers tonight. So I got myself a Victoria, and I'm like, well, may as well get the big one. So yeah, that guys, you want to see something funny until he comes back? I actually forgot to put any ice packs in the freezer for this. I'm using a pack of frozen hot dogs to keep my beer cold because I have my cooler out here. So this is about the time where I started talking with Adam about this. So it's not my birthday, Nathan. It's not till the end of the month, but I figured now is the time to do it because if I do it on a Wednesday, midweek before my birthday, I probably won't wake up with a hangover. I mean, who am I kidding? Well, I wasn't going to masturbate tonight till you sent that picture. Ah, hell, who am I kidding? I was going to anyway. Damn hillbilly. Goddamn right. I'm using a pack of frozen hot dogs to keep my beer cold because I forgot to put the ice pack in the freezer.
They're called beer brats for a reason.
Adapt and overcome, right? Isn't that one of the Marine Corps things? Improvise, adapt, and overcome.
Of course.
So
yeah, that was the point of Flex Goals, is that way you don't have to put out product one. You just got to keep the money. But it's all stated in the risk.
Yeah. Well, and that's what I never thought was fair. Let me get back into this Kickstarter thing here. That's what I never thought was fair. But I want you guys to look at something over here. You see that? Where that big arrow is right there? Estimated delivery date 2016. So you've heard me and him talking about it, right? But if you were to go here, there's some updates. Oh, we don't want to look at that one yet.
Oh, the comments?
Yeah, no, we'll get into the comments. So what he did was, this was the Raptor finished for the. Can you guys see what I'm showing? The Raptor finished for. Is that popping up? Yeah. So Balzano duo backers. So this was the thing that he was talking about. So a lot of these things have been.
Wait. Go down. Look. Go down. So obviously there's knives or parts of knives that are put together.
I don't honestly believe that. You know why I'm saying that? Because like you and I have talked about it, he is so good at photorealistic renders. And I'm not going to say the guy is not an incredible graphic artist. He does. He generates some of the most
No, exactly. But I'm saying worst case scenario, that's a lie.
I don't think these things ever existed. So this was an update, and so this was back in December 15th, 2016. I'm like, where are those knives at, Paulo?
There's at least 25 right there.
Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, maybe 17. There might be another one in there.
Okay, 17. Cool.
Yeah. So he did all these updates, right? But this is the one. This is the one that really, really made me mad. And I played it for you guys last week. You guys ready for this? This was his update. This is how he treats his customers. Now, this was October 2018. After the knives were 2 years late, after he goes, I'm not just here getting knives done. I'm here getting perfect knives done. And I'll take all the time I need in order to do that. Although I understand it has been frustrating. It has frustrated some of the backers to no end. I'd much rather deal with the occasional Paulo is a scammer bullshit that gets thrown around over social media rather than have 80 plus backers receive knives that aren't as good as they could be. Now let's go ahead and we'll read more because then he does this question in Anchor. He's like, have you stopped posting? Why have you stopped posting progress pictures? Because it gets all of this stuff. So he's treating his customers like trash.
Well, it's gaslighting him too.
Yeah. And then so there's another one here. And I'm trying to find it. One last thing, the vast majority of backers who've remained supported, I am forever grateful. If time permits, I'm going to do something extra. But then there's one in here where it's, to those, he's like, with negative bullshitter who send me rude direct messages over Instagram like update or what the fuck is taking so long, will be put at the back of the line and their knives would go out last. Well, here's the thing, Paulo. No one's knives went out. So you know what? It really doesn't matter. And the
Hey, if you're
one that
not first,
really
you're
irritated,
last.
this was what really irritated me. Like after that comment, right? After that comment, we'll go back and we'll click on the one. This is what he put out.
Oh, his
So
little video.
this was September 2017. And this is when he blocked me because I was like, well, Paulo, what happened with those knives you showed back in 2016? This is what he showed.
I think we're just going to keep it simple, though. Yeah, like if a customer's knife is shipping as part of this first shipment, then they'll get information saying that their knife is on its way. And then if a customer does not receive shipping information that their knife is part of the first shipment, then it means that their knife isn't part of this first shipment. It seems pretty simple to me. So that's what we're going to do. All right, meeting adjourned.
You incredible fucking prick. Like that's what you're going to tell your customers after the knives were supposed to be delivered in December of 2016, in October of 2018. That's what you tell them. And then there's nothing. There's nothing from October 18 to October 20 or till June 2020. And what's it say? Although I'm not 100% solid on the date for the restart, I'm happy to report delivery will resume before October. For something to resume, Paulo, I don't know if you know how this works. For something to resume, you had to fucking start it in the first place. I hate him so much. Like there's no words. There are no words to describe the level of hatred that burns right in here and sits in my stomach like a little cancerous ball. And the fact that he lives in my head rent-free just kind of irritates me. I want him to just deliver the fucking knives so I can stop talking about it. But here we are. Here we are, 2016, kickoff. June or July 2016 was kickoff of that project.
Mm-hmm.
Knives were supposed to be delivered in December of 2016. That was the original date.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have all this shit. And this dude still has the audacity in 2020 to go ahead and go into the Kickstarter and try to get people to believe that he's actually ever going to make those knives. Now, what we haven't looked at, I want to show you guys because I kind of skirted around it. I want to bring this up. So we're going to pull this back up. I want to go in here and I want to show you guys.
Hold on.
How much money this project actually made. So here's the campaign. I kind of scrolled down past it. $29,687. And Adam, how much was it? Do you remember what Boss offered?
It was like, well, originally it was at 40, like 42, 46, but that is what he's at now after he's refunded or claims to have refunded X amount of the money.
Oh, so kind of like what we were talking about with Slicey Dicey. He did just enough to do.
I think it was people who asked legal action.
Yeah, well, then you had, but Voss Offren had, for the Raptor, he had another, 30?
Well, he had the Frick as well. A Frick was a friction folder / bottle opener.
Yeah,
he called the Frick.
Well, and then so you had those updates, right? And you see how he treats people, but then you go into the comments and you look at the comments, and this guy, Xavier Bernal, I love this guy. Like he's the one. I showed some of you guys this last week. I guess another year and no knives. And then any updates, buddy? This guy right here, this poor dude, this super backer, John Egan. I'm looking forward to using the Mars knife. Fantastic design. I'm sure it will be well made. Thank you. A year ago, that poor dude has probably bought real estate in Arizona thinking he had an ocean view. it's just sad that he's done this to these people. But you go down and I find ones that are good. Paul is still a cuckold. Nothing going on 3 years. Anybody get anything? Me too. Even though it's been a minute, I'm looking forward to the Mars knife. That was 2 years ago. Still waiting. John, 2 years ago.
It's the Emperor's New Clothes, and that's part of the reason why. If you look at why Ken Spalding probably backed him for so long, he owed Ken F tons of money.
Oh yeah, like
just for the machining cost. Like I think some of the projects he did, like bringing in Derek Gaston and stuff, was just easier for him to make that produce money versus him make something.
So it'll be ready by October 2026. Well, I like how he said that he was going to resume shipping by October. He didn't say what year. Like he left that open.
And he said shipping. He didn't say manufacturing. Shipping implies that I've already produced everything.
Right? So we haven't, one of the things we haven't looked at yet, and I'll try to pull it up. But you remember how we talked about there was a knife that someone actually purchased, and there's a video of the stellar action and the gorgeous engraving on this knife. So allow me to pull that up.
Did we forget the one he did the hand engraving on? Oh God.
Yeah, that's the one. Horrible. That's the one I'm talking about. The beautiful hand engraving that he has on this knife.
It reminded me of like a Les Paul. You know, not a beautiful guitar. The way it's so hand engraved.
Look at that. Look at that engraving. So let's go ahead. Let's look at the action. Let's look at the action on this gorgeous tool. Look at that.
Hand engraved.
Hand engraved. You just can't go wrong there. But wait, there's more, because apparently Chris was actually able.
Oh, Chris Show. That's who it is. Chris Show.
Yeah. Chris was actually able to get that knife to flip. Apparently he just needed some lube or something. So he shows, and I got to find the right one because there's 3 of them. He shows, is it this one? No, it's not that one. Guys, I'm working on it. Like I'm still trying. I didn't get these in the correct order. But he shows this beautiful execution and how this knife, after he worked on it, after he just did, like, I think he said I think it just needed some oil.
I think.
God damn it.
Well, and also people are forgetting that, like, to a point where if he did come out with any knives, you know there'd be somebody out there, or he would have hounded them. Hey, post your knife up. Post your knife up.
I don't actually have the one I was looking for. I apologize. It was actually one of him, and he got it, and he flicked it out, and it flicked really good, and the action looked good. I was like, well, maybe the tip pivot was, and then it's just like.
Oh, the lock rock was horrendous.
It was horrendous. The blade play was horrendous, and I'm like, oh, that's worse than a Benchmade.
I mean, or on par with Benchmade, but yeah.
Yeah.
So, and here's the craziest thing out of all this situation. Like, it gets nuttier when you see in there. So Paulo and Voss Offren had a falling out, and Voss Offren, quote unquote, sold or gave. I mean, it's probably easier to give away a company that has no equity in it, but gave its company away.
I believe
Instagram and all. I sent you the legal documents.
I believe I have the legal documents.
Because Balzano posted those on his Instagram and a story, and I copied them.
I'm trying to
Paulo, and I know Paulo's watching this. Guess what, Paulo? When you watch this, remember, I'm on your Instagram, and you don't even know who I am.
Right? Like, he blocked me, so I have to.
Oh, he blocked me. He blocked Flipin Beans.
Hey, look at that! Like, the guy just signed over. He's like, "Look, I can't do anymore. Like, we're done." So now I want to get into some of the stuff that happened with all of this, because you and I have both heard the.
Hold on one second. Hold on a second. He sold the company to him. All right. Here's the funniest thing. As soon as that happened, he posted up on Instagram that he was going to fill all of Voss Offren's orders
That's what I was gonna say.
But there's not been order 1.
Oh, so Patina Turner is the only person to pick. I was hoping. I didn't want to say anything else. I didn't want to say anything else. I wanted to see if anyone else just noticed that basically is the TAD design Invictus.
Well, so yes and no. So what's his name? Jesus. So the guy who designed that was part owner of TAD, and he left.
Yeah.
So like yes and no, like it's not, you can't steal your own IP.
Well, okay, yeah, I guess. But still,
he's not making exactly TAD things, but I get what you're saying. Like the same thought process.
I'm telling you, like I saw the first time I saw that when you sent me this picture, I was like, that's a TAD. Yeah. That's TAD design.
I know. I'm right there with you.
So now I wanted to get into the things that had happened, because at one point there actually was a shop. They actually had a shop. There was a shop, like a physical location.
Not the Mad Max shop.
Do you want to tell them? Do you want to tell them about it? Because I actually need to go release some fluids. So I'll give you the soap layout. You can let them know what happened with said shop, and I'll be right back.
All right. So Paulo had a shop with Vossoffer and whoever. Like, so apparently a large part of the cost from the Kickstarter, which he laid out, which I don't know if he did use it, but he laid it out, that a large part of the monies were going to go to his mill, because he had no mill, but he had like CADs and whatever, and he apparently got with like a company called Nam Power for a lot of his machinist things. I'm pretty sure he like hustled them into like parts for commercial, some bullshit. I don't know. Their landlord kicked them out, not because like they weren't producing, not because they weren't paying rent. Paulo was living at the shop. So I don't know if you guys are familiar with this, but when it comes to industrial real estate, you can't live there because it's not zoned. He was living at the shop, which put them in a liability. And the owner was like, "Yo, you can't be doing this shit, bro." He's like, "You gotta go." So he kicked him out, and then we're gonna show a picture of it. But Paulo, I guess he flirted with the.
I think I have a picture. I can't remember if you sent me the picture. I'm trying to pull it up.
Of the tractor trailer.
Yeah. I think you might have sent it to me, but I can't remember. I'm trying to find my photos. Let me get into my photos, and I'll see if I have it.
So Paulo bought a fucking. He claimed he bought. Mind you, these are all pictures, Instagram. See what I see and show you kind of deal.
Oh, that's the one that wouldn't open. That's the one that I sent. And it wouldn't open no matter what I did.
So he bought a tractor trailer, according to him, so he could have his shop mobile and just go around the country and do like do his own John and Kate +8, but with a mill and no knives. Yes, he did. So you've never eaten MREs for a week and not taken a shit? Something escapes once in a while.
Give me that white gum. I ain't pooped in like 3 days. Give me some of that white gum.
So he said he was going to buy a tractor trailer. Now, here's where it gets kind of kooky, because he still hasn't. This is like 3 to 4 years after the whole situation. Like, this is after like people have just made joke after joke about the Kickstarters, and he still hasn't done anything.
Crack pipes and shit on him.
Yeah. Oh yeah, dude. Fucking I make crack pipe shirts. Hey man, it's my #1 shirt. So, he starts posting up this video of him. Oh, I'm going to get this tractor trailer and I'm going to do this and a shipping container. We're just going to put the mill in there. And I thought about it. I was like, why would you do that? Number one, you need 3-phase power minimum.
I was going to say, you need,
for a mill.
You need 220 triple phase at least.
Yeah. Yeah. Where the fuck are you
going to? 440 gives you a smoother.
Once you need 3-phase.
Yeah, you got to have 3-phase. 220 at a minimum. 440,
which means he has to have a phase converter inside of a shipping container. I don't know of anybody who would want to do that. Like,
okay, I can tell you what size a phase converter is. It looks
it's huge. It's about the size of a wall
cabinet. It looks like a set of. It looks like a pantry.
It's
We
got
had him on
huge
clip.
fucking. It's like that thing that in Jurassic Park when Samuel L. Jackson has to go turn on the fucking the lights.
I was 5-inch gunners, mate. We always ran the power converter, and it was like
But
it took up part of the room, a good chunk of it.
but you tell me a place where you can hook up a fucking shore power to a phase converter. You show me the place.
You can't do that at the local KOA.
I didn't think so.
No, you said you had a full
So-
hookup.
But I thought about it. I was like, you know what that means? I go, he's so behind on his he was so behind on his payments. He was probably running around to keep them from repossessing his mill.
Oh yeah, you and I talked about that when you sent me the picture.
Yes.
And guys, like the picture he posted up was like this fucking ghetto ass graffitied
Yes.
refrigerator. He was like, "We're gonna turn this refrigerator container in." I was like, "No, you're not."
No, you're not. So then
you
here
really
goes the
that
crazy
dumb?
part. And then all of a sudden he leaves to Costa Rica for like a month. And on Kickstarter money, obviously. But he
Okay,
just
so
like
wasn't Voss offering buying like fucking
okay, Vosshoffen ran off. He was buying synthesizers and taking
synthesizers?
like international trips to like Denmark and shit.
I was saying he was going to Denmark and Brussels and buying synthesizers, and
He wanted to go get his his Devo on, bro.
I had a glass.
So fucking this whole thing goes down. Paulo leaves the country, goes to Costa Rica, is running around like he's trying to do Naked and Afraid solo style. Fucking like the only thing I could think of was he was being a coke mule, because I'm pretty sure they widened that ass out in prison.
Hey, how come when you fart it sounds like?
It sounds like a Corona bottle at the beach.
Sitting around a
Different
campfire.
angles.
Sitting around a campfire, you hear somebody go, and Paulo's like, "Virgin."
So that then like after this whole situation happens, he comes back to the country. He's posting up every once in a while. He posts up some cryptic shit like you can never make sense of his posts. I think one time he did post up that he was gonna buy himself a gun, which is hilarious because
I remember that. That was right before he blocked me.
Yep, because I think somebody may have. I think they ran like a background check on him, and they like showed that like, oh yeah, you've been denied by ATF. There's no way you're buying.
Okay, so you guys don't know. I actually went to school with the Department of Justice to do background checks, and I actually know the guy that ran his Nix fucking thing, and he sent me a screenshot of it, and I posted it up, and Paulo got me in trouble with Instagram. I lost my ability to post for like 2 weeks, and he blocked me. But I definitely did have proof that he tried to buy a firearm. Do you remember that? I think I tagged you in it. Do you remember that? And I was like, "Oh look,
Oh yeah,
felon trying to buy a gun." Imagine that.
And even though I was working at a gun shop, and I just took a look and I saw that he had been denied.
Yeah, that's a nationwide program.
Yep.
You can look at it
Report. Yeah, exactly. And so I'm just like, okay, this is some shit. But yeah, so Paulo's done all this shit, and what's funny is like what it is number one, the main part of the people that follow him are people who don't know shit on knives.
Yeah,
they got into the knife game when people are realizing, oh shit, I can move fuck you money worth of product in pocket knives.
Exactly. And so guys, this isn't just hate on Paulo. Like Adam and I have fun with this, and Adam and I do this. We did this on my live feed on Instagram once too.
Oh yeah.
And it's not just because bash on Paulo and bash, it's the fact I just had 3 people that stated they just got into the knife community, and that they just saw it. These are the things that would happen. And I do this for fun because I enjoy it, because Paulo's a dickbag. But for 2, the same reason that I call out things that I see in knives, I don't want people getting screwed in the knife community. Like I call out Benchmade for quality control.
Shoddy everything.
As much as I like Cold Steel, I've called them out for things. Lynn Thompson, actually, like everybody's like, "Oh, Lynn Thompson burns you in a YouTube comment," and I'm like, I didn't even care What Lynn Thompson
you
had
mean-
to say. I was like, wait, Lynn Thompson commented in one of my YouTube videos? Fuck yeah. I
The
love
guy who
Lynn.
can't go to any knife shows. That guy.
Who, Lynn?
Yeah, Lynn's not allowed a lot. He's
Lynn
persona non
is
grata.
so I've run into Lynn at like 3 of the knife shows. He was at Blade
I'm
Show
talking about-
West. I love
I
that
saw
dude.
at regular Blade Show he's not allowed, and I know like because he
He's
tried
a
to
little
fight with Bram Frank, number one.
Yeah, he's a little crazy. I love Lynn. He's a little psychotic, but I'm friends with you, so.
Well, he's a good businessman. I'm never going to down that motherfucker for being.
But there's a reason we do this, and we have fun with it, and it's something I wanted to bring you guys to make sure, because we're at an hour and 35 minutes, and I usually run it. I usually run it for 3 hours, but the goal, I ran it for 4.5 one time. The goal is to do it at 2 hours. But yeah, no, that's the reason we do this. Is just like he said. Now, what I wanted to get to is, I want you to talk. We've talked about Paulo. He's a shitbird. We're done with that. He's probably going to wind
That's a given.
He's probably going to wind up in prison somewhere, getting ass raped by a big dude that he's like, I'll call you Bubba. You can call me Otis. I got a carton of cigarettes. You should fucking
Hold my pocket.
prison love. Yeah, he's got a set of bunk beds and a carton of cigarettes. You can call me Bubba. I'll call you Otis. It's prison love.
It's not gay. It's not gay. It's love the man way.
Right? I hope that. I wish that for him. I hope he can find a relationship like that someday. So I wanted to talk about the thumb plates that you were making for knives.
Oh,
Since we still got like 25 people here, I definitely wanted to talk about the products you are making.
these little thumb mods. That's a brass one.
You're making those yourself, right? You're doing those at home?
Oh, like 50% of it. I'm getting most of it machined out, pre-machined, so that way it's like half of it's just me just personalizing it. So like they're basically it's a repurposed part that they don't make for a knife anymore.
That's what you were telling me.
Yeah, and so I repurposed it. It's no longer the shape it used to be, and then I've been playing with it, and then I contacted the company and I got a titanium one made.
Ooh.
See,
you know what?
This one doesn't have the cross.
Yeah, I like that so much better than the actual Emerson Wave. As a matter of fact, that's one of the things I like about some of the cold steel knives are those thumb plates that they have that work as an Emerson feature, which that reminds me a lot of that. Would that fit like a cold steel Spartan or something?
I'm not saying it wouldn't. Okay, so they are cut smaller. They're cut smaller than an Emerson hole, so they should fit. You see, there's a noticeable little gap right there.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, so there's like roughly about a 16th of an inch of a gap. The titanium one you can't see as much because I keep it more of a full size. These are actually brand new, the titanium ones. So it fits on this. It fits on my mini A100. It fits on my full size A100.
Well, you have to talk about that, the one that you had customized, the A100.
Oh, this one?
Yeah, when you get done talking about your thumb studs.
Yeah. So there's that. So we've been making those. I literally just got my batch in to customize. So I have them in brass and I have them in titanium. The brass ones I can patina. So I have like a brass black and then I'll rub them down and give them like a nice worn look. With the titanium ones, I just got those ones, so I can flame them. I'm not going to electro-anodize because, one, I don't get the fucking time, and guess what? More power for you to play with it. It's your toy to play with. Yeah.
Or you can send it to me.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, and they're bead blasted too, so it depends on what the bead blasting media was, because that could have impregnated it and this whole thing.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
so
you can tumble them, you can reblast them and tumble them and stuff like that.
Yeah. So I'm making these, and these are my brand new shipment in. So I already have I have a list on my Instagram. If you go to my links, the link on there will show up a link tree. It'll show up the garrote orders, and then it'll show my my thumb mods.
I was going to say, you got to talk about the garrotes too.
So this is one of my garrotes. This is like one of my personal ones. It's a 300-pound cord, Japanese beads. They're all glass Japanese beads. We moved away from the glazed beads, and we're using just the pure glass colored ones. So this is my Skeletor themed one.
I like it.
And so
Fuck
it's a good.
Smith. Fuck Kevin Smith and screwing up our childhood memories.
Well, I mean, Skeletor gets a win once, right?
No.
So, well, it just makes it for season 2. But so you have enough distance here from here, so a garrote should be like you're holding a telephone. So that way, because all you need is the thumb loops. You go over, use them. Now, mind you, I would advise taking a class on how to use these, because it is. Hello, can you hear me?
I don't know what happened. Like
Okay.
everyone, it happened like 3 times last.
Okay. So the garrotes, like I said, fits around the wrist, goes through airports, goes through.
What's the cord? What's
It's a 300-pound Kevlar cord, so it holds up to 300 pounds. I mean, let's be honest. If you're having to choke a motherfucker that's over 300 pounds, you have bigger issues.
Well, I mean, it's not the weight of the person; it's how much weight.
It's the weight of the pull.
I have a story for you about a dude.
But I'm saying, yeah. So we've been making those. We do custom ones. We actually just did one for a guy that had actual gemstones. We got some peridot, and the wife.
August birthstone. August birthstone.
Yeah. So my wife got some peridot in. She
did
it.
I was born in August, so I have a birthstone that looks like frozen piss.
Bro, I got a birthstone that looks like an off-white shimmer.
Frozen jizz?
No, opal.
It's your turn in the barrel.
So we've been making these. They're good to have if you follow the whole Fieldcraft mindset with like Ed's Manifesto, Fieldworks, Searpick, a lot of those guys.
Well, okay, so guys, a garrote can be used. It's not just for strangling someone. Like
you can also lock a door with it.
If you've ever watched any movie where there's people doing martial arts, you can use like a towel or a garrote to bind, to deflect. You can use it in a defensive manner and then get up behind someone and then make them stop breathing.
Yeah. Make them forever sleep, according to YouTube.
Sleep. He's still sleepy.
But yeah, you can use it in multiple aspects.
Plus,
I know
they're
several
awesome.
guys. Well, and yeah, I know several guys who've bought them for their like daughters are going to college and stuff like that, for something to have on them. Because if you're in a hotel room or any room that you can lock, you can actually use it to wrap it around the doorknob and something else. I mean, you're going to need something to go through the door and be able to cut the cord in order to open it up. Also great for animal traps. Also good for getting out of zip cuffs.
I was going to say that was one I was going to ask you can you use them for getting out of zip ties?
Yeah, it's great for getting out of zip ties. I mean, it's basically a friction saw.
Yeah.
And if you're in a real bind, you can use it as a wood saw. But ultimately, yeah, it's a great tool to have.
Well, I told you when you had them up the last time, I was going to try and get one, and I just didn't have the cash.
I have an order slip on my thing, bro.
I know. I'm just saying, like, well, I mean, even though we have the windfall of money from the house, like this is my job now. Honestly, this is my job now. It fucking sucks. I was working construction. I was doing contracts. When I couldn't do construction, I don't know if you heard the story. So I have an autoimmune disorder, and so I was working construction. I was physically doing it. I loved it. And the doctor was like, yeah, you can't be on a job site with that many people because you have an autoimmune disorder. You take immunosuppressors. And so that I came home and I got my Disabled Veterans Business Enterprise certification so I could do vendor and I could work contracts from home and just order site furniture and equipment and supplies. Well, now the problem is that these contracts get written out so far in advance that the inflation on stuff, by the time I get a chance to bid on something, the bond has been set at a rate that I'm outside of. So basically, this is my job right now. And guys, I know I've told you guys that, but I appreciate you guys all being here. We've been doing this for an hour and 44 minutes. You're still watching. That tells me I'm doing something right. So I appreciate everyone that's here. But I want to get one, but I'm definitely going to get one. But even with the windfall of the house, I just can't guarantee
there's a couple of makers who bought them for me. Ryan Schwartz. One of my favorite ones, who makes his own garrotes, so it's kind of a cool thing. He wants I Am Bandero. He makes really cool their garrotes, but they're so most of the guys do rosaries, which is cool. But there's so many rosaries out there, and sometimes some people are non-religious and I'm not going to wear a rosary if I'm going to a Muslim country.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and you know what? The first thing I thought when I saw them, all I could think, because you and I, you're a good bit younger than me. I'm 47, but I guarantee that we're both in the military when this movie was out, which was, well, you might have not been yet. Lethal Weapon with Jet Li, where he's got the garrote that's the prayer beat. And that's I saw it. And I was like, he made what I saw in Lethal Weapon. Was that Lethal Weapon 3?
It was 3. It was 3.
Yeah, I was
So,
like, that's freaking awesome.
So yeah, I just making stuff like that. It's cool. It takes my mind off of things. It's stupid easy for me to just sit there for an hour or two because it keeps me quiet. My wife loves it when I'm quiet.
Oh, you make them? Like you're making them yourself?
I'm making these. Yeah.
I thought you were having them. I thought you had somebody make
No.
for some reason. I thought you had somebody making them.
They're beaded by hand, every single one. We do them per order. Like I said, my order sheet has a very specific way. It tells most people you want it to wrap around 4 times or 5 times. You measure wrist once. You tell me your measurement. I multiply it by X. I add on 1/4 of an inch for slack. Usually what I tell most people, if you need to, from here to here or here to here, because it's your outstretched arm.
I want you to think about the arm span that I have got. I'm like, that. God.
You'd be surprised. This is a 40. No, this is a 30. Was it 30? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So
I'll measure it out because I'm
this is like 38.
I have a retarded long link. I have a retarded long reach. It's ridiculous.
So there's that. There's
when I used to mix martial arts with boxing, people were like, God damn. I can't even get in close. She just nailed me. What was this?
Oh, somebody asked a question.
What was it?
Look at this button. Somebody asked if my thumb mod was the snaggletooth. No, the snaggletooth connects onto only a spider hole and is concentric with the inside of the spider hole and the outside, so it sits on the top of the blade. So no, that is not a snaggletooth. Snaggletooth, mine is a pocket mod. It actually uses the existing hardware of any thumb disc. Theoretically you could use Monero. Majority of the thumb discs out there are generally within 2 or 3 sizes. They're super standard, like all Emersons are all the same.
Yeah, you and I talked about it. Like that diameter, like that thumb disc is going to be the same, pretty much. Like that gap that's filling is going to be the same, pretty much from knife to knife.
So mine was made like a kind of hair shorter, so that way it can fit in majority of knives without any issues.
So you said a cut hair. Are we talking about a thin blonde one? Or are we talking about like a thick Mediterranean, maybe thick black Asian hair?
Like I want Croatian. Like I might get through the winters if I just don't shave.
In the middle. Okay, gotcha. Yeah. like that razor's wrecked after she touches it to her leg one time.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, so forgot where we were with all this. But yeah, so I've been making the garrotes. I've been making
it happens on my
thumb mods
podcast all the time.
Once I get everything ready and figured out, I'll start making my own knives again. I mean, like I've already made my own Damascus several times. There is a knife in San Diego. It's with my ex. It's my cousin's ex-husband or boyfriend. One or the other.
My sister's nephew's sister told me that Paris passed out at 31 Flavors last night.
Jesus. So yeah, he's a firefighter. I made him, and with permission, I made a Graham Razel styled knife. Right.
Okay, I'm listening.
With John's permission, I made it. I was like, hey, I'm gonna make my own thing. I just want to use like certain design concepts. I don't want to seem like I'm copying you. He's like, no, you can just do what you want.
John seems like a great dude. Yeah, I've only ever talked to him once. I had some questions about a custom, and the dude, like, I sent an email. I found an email for him, and the dude, like, within 3 minutes had answered me back. I was like, oh, no problem. I love answering these questions. They're like, this seems like a really, really good guy.
I had a knife I bought secondhand. It wasn't even from him. It was the Razel SSLE. There's a picture of me in one of the Blade magazines. It was during Fukushima. I was carrying it, and I was like, "Hey, man, I'm gonna need my my knife with the new sheath." He's like, "What's wrong?" He's like, "Well, I was in Fukushima, so like that water just wrecked that sheath."
Yeah.
He was just like, okay, cool. So he took care of the whole thing for me, made me a leather one and a Kydex one. So when I was out in the field versus when I was just walking around. Super cool dude. Like
Yeah.
right now he's going through I believe it's remission for cancer.
Yeah. That's what I was going to say. I don't know if you guys know, but John had cancer. I don't know. I mean, he has cancer, but
Yeah. I think he has to wait like a year after he has no more before they can declare him as okay.
yeah. And I mean, even then, like, I had skin cancer on my back, and I still have to dude, this was 20 some years ago almost now. I was really young, and they're like, yeah, you still have to come in and get checked. So I did have the last thing I usually do on this, because I'm stealing this from John Grimsmo, is the last thing is story time. So you have to pick a story to tell us, and it doesn't have to be like just the like one of your favorite things that has ever happened to you that's humorous, possibly disgusting, because you're a Marine.
I got a lot of those,
and all kinds of weirdness. Those are always the best.
Yeah.
It's like, let me think about it for a second.
All right. So all right, story time. This actually happened not too long ago, a couple days ago, about a week actually. You want to know the difference between men and women? I'll make it very simple, and the double standards are in some aspects. I work at a bar as a bouncer. All right.
Well, I forgot you're doing that part-time.
Yeah, so I work at a bar as a bouncer. Young female, super drunk. Like they added an extra sheet because she was further than 3 sheets. She was fucked up. And it was about closing time anyways. Like she just downed everything and it just hit her. So, hey miss, you gotta go. It's 2:00. And she's like, I want to go home with you tonight. And go, first off, no. She goes, it's against my rules. Don't. Have a good night. She goes, I'm high. Like, I'm really, really wanting to, get it in. And I'm like, fantastic. You have a great night. She's like, why? Like, you don't understand. You're like, I'm fine. I know me. I said, okay. And I live in Phoenix. And she's like, okay. So what's up with that? She's like, well, you're exotic. I go, honey, I am a khaki pant among a sea of khaki pants. Like, there's every shade of brown here. You got a super sticker.
I know. I was looking for the thing. I don't know how I missed it. It's a big silver thing. It looks like your dildo.
Shh. Mine's bigger. Anyways, so I look at the girl. I'm like, honey, that's against my rules. She goes, what are your rules? I go, very simple rules. Number 1, I don't have sex with drunk chicks. She said, why? Because you're drunk, and that's called rape. I don't do it. Can't give me consent. You have a good night. She goes, what's your second rule? Second rule, number 2.
I don't have sex with drunk chicks anymore.
I go, I don't have sex with...
You should quantify that.
I go, don't have sex with drunk chicks. Girls that come to my bar. She goes, why? You know where I work. I don't want... That's weird. I go, who? Do you don't show where you eat? He's like, okay. She goes, what's rule number 3? I goes, rule number 3, the kinkiest rule. So my wife loves it when I only fuck her. It's fucking weird. Like, and she's like, just pull my hair and tell me something dirty. I'm like, okay. So this is like a very busty, buxom, little crazy, drunk shit girl. She's like trying to push her chest out. And I'm like, nope. So I walk over behind her and take my hand and go up the back of her hair, and then pull her head back. It is, man. I pull her head back.
You gotta watch it again.
I pull her head back, and I just pull her hair, and I'm like, get the fuck out. And I push her out the door. She was so mad at me, and I didn't give one shit.
So I actually did some work here not too long ago, because here in San Diego, some of the bars and grills were open, and I have a friend who owns a bar, and my doctor wouldn't let me go back to work, but that was only because, like, if I was working on the books, I had to get released from him, because he would have seen. Here's the deal. You know what? Here's a fucked up thing. Mm-hmm. My cue ball. Sorry. Here's the screwed up thing about this, because my doctor over at Balboa is active duty. he can actually do this. He has it set up so that like if I violate his orders, he takes away my retirement because basically I'm retired and he can file a UCMG or UCMJ report against me until it's adjudicated. I receive no benefits. And I'm like, what a dick move. So I worked off the books at a bar for a couple of weeks, and drunk chicks have got a thing about bouncers. Dudes working the door, man. What is it with drunk chicks?
It's a power situation.
It's a power situation. And they always like, I don't know what it is with like younger drunk chicks these days. Like I didn't know that being older was going to be beneficial. I get hit on way more being older than I did when I was younger.
They want the dad bod so they get the dad rod.
I got granddad bod, and I fucking married an Asian for a reason. They're screwed on both fronts.
They want to get that. They want to get the AARP, Grand Slam Denny's breakfast discount, bro.
Breakfast at like 3:00 in the morning.
Hey, that's when the best deals are, man.
Well, I mean, if you want to stick around, I'm gonna usually holy crap. What was that? Holy crap, that was a fun job at times. Yeah. So I usually just kind of leave this open. If you guys got any questions, we'll look at it. If you want to stick around, it's fine. If you want to just if you want to bounce, I don't know what you got going on. I know that it's you got work tomorrow, don't you?
Yeah, I got work and I got dinner right now. I still haven't eaten.
Yeah, this is my job, so you can go. Guys, if you have any questions for Adam, I'm sure that he would be happy to field them on Instagram. His handle is right there. It's Flipin Bean. Adam, I appreciate it. I always enjoy this. This is the second time we've done this. We should do this annually. This should be an August thing.
Plus, if you want to get one of these discs before they're all sold out, because they go out within about a month, if not more.
Yeah, but those are really cool. I'd like to see if I can get one to fit that my cold steel. But the thing is, it's so good. Oh yeah, you didn't talk about that before you go. You got like 3 minutes. Tell us about that knife.
Okay. So this was an Emerson Mini A100. It is not an Emerson Mini A100 anymore. So the A100,
good knife.
I mean, so the A100 one is a liner lock. This is a frame lock. All right. This is probably one of the hardest jobs I've ever seen a knife modifier do. So if you don't know who Pete Gray is, Pete Gray makes the Monster Gray thumb discs, the myriad of different lanterns and beads and so on and so forth. Anyways, he said, hey, Pete, I like the A100 Mini. I go, but my issue is it's not a frame lock. I'm like, it's not a frame lock, bro. I need a frame lock. So I'm like, so I sent him a Mini A100. I paid him like, I think it was like $4 something altogether because I had the A100.
Not that much tied up in the titanium.
Yeah. So then I said, hey, man, make me a frame lock, scrap everything else. Like, G10, the titanium, like scrap. He's like, cool, I'll just keep them as templates because I use them for other stuff. It's cool. He makes this. I sold this in the middle of my divorce, like right in the beginning of my divorce. I sold this. I just got it back like less than 2 months ago. So it's got titanium sides, titanium backspacer. Great action. Very, very smooth.
Of course it does. It's no longer actually an Emerson.
So it came with a monster thumb disc, but I threw a thumb mod on here. The great thing about the thumb mod I also love about the thumb mod is that you can, when you put your thumb on the back of it, you're putting more pressure on the blade for when you have to cut.
That's one of the things I'd seen about it, and I actually like it. I've seen your thumb mods, the flipper mod things that you've got. They actually, you can use them like a thumb ramp.
Yeah, you can use them with thumb ramp. You can also, I leave enough meat on the sides so you can thumb it if you need to.
Yeah, I've seen them. Those things are really cool.
It ejects from the pocket like anything else. I mean, the only thing faster is my fixed blade.
Well, of course, the fixed blade's faster.
Yeah.
Always go with a fixed blade. Buy my fixed blades. Always buy my fixed blades.
I think I know a guy.
I think I know a guy.
I'm still waiting for you to make up a call.
I've looked at it, and I now that I have a hollow grind wheel, I could probably do it and actually have it come out right. I'm thinking about maybe doing one. It would basically be a variation of the sea snake, but I mean, the sea snake, Warrencliffe's pretty good anyway. I mean, it comes back pretty good, but I don't know. I just don't like making. I don't like making a backwards knife.
If I want to challenge you, I mean, I'm going to Ed's manifesto class in September, so if you get it to me before then, I could show Ed.
I'll think about it. We'll have to. When?
It's September 11th is the class.
Well, that shit ain't happening.
See?
I got a knife that a customer ordered that I haven't even started on yet. You know me, one knife at a time, as slow as possible.
Just pull a Balzano, bro.
Hey, look, this is what the knife's gonna look like, okay? Adam, this has been a blast. This has been fun. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'm gonna stick around. I'll answer some questions. Adam, go have dinner with your wife. Take your cats with you.
All right, I will.
I'll talk to you later, bro. So, did you guys enjoy that? Has it been fun, insightful? And I could see him still in the green room. He's like, "Hey, kick me out. How do I get out of here?" He's shaking his head. He's like, "What the fuck, goddamn Navy?" So there we go. What was this? I had an opportunity to be private bounce for a dancer. The wife quickly put an end to it. My wife knows at this point that I wouldn't cheat on her. So if you're into drama, strip clubs, guys, I've bounced at a strip club. Jeremy, I have bounced several places. You ready for this? I did fugitive recovery a few times, and I was a process server. Wait, how the fuck is this your boy and you don't have a product on your Norseman? Because my Norseman doesn't have a thumb disc. I couldn't put that on my Norseman. I could put it on my Terzola, but I can't put it on my Norseman. And the fact is, like I said, I have zero right now. I have zero disposable income at the moment. So great live stream. I appreciate any of you guys that donated money. I appreciate it. Like I said, it is my job. So I appreciate anything that you guys have donated because I do know how times are tight. I did not get a chance to point this out. This was made for me by a friend of mine. I've seen these. He actually makes them now. I've just recently cleaned this up as I don't know, yesterday. So this actually was a round that was supposed to fire that didn't when I was downrange, and it came home in my pocket, and my buddy cut it open to see why it didn't fire, and it had no powder in it. So he cut it open and he turned it into a bottle opener for me. And now he makes these. You can buy these online. I can't remember the name of the company. To tell you the truth, I do know that I've seen a bunch of these. But yeah, he definitely did this. And it's awesome. I cleaned this up because I knew I was going to use it tonight. It was very, very bad. Oh, shit, Ken. Ken, your knives are done, by the way. I wanted to point that out. I wanted to show you something. So, Ken. There you go. Ken, I wanted to show you that your TRM Atom came out incredible. Hang on a second. It's right here because I was hoping that you would come in today. So I did Ken's TRN Atom to 12,000 grit today. And I want you guys to look at that. And I want you, Ken, when you get this knife, to be ever so careful with this knife, because I'm going to tell you right now, it's terrifying. It is nightmare inducing because one, it's a very thin knife, and two, I decided, as much as I don't necessarily like the angle that they use on their bevels, I followed their edge bevel. That is probably one of the thinnest edge bevels at the apex. It's terrifying. It's scary. I don't like touching it. But all your knives are like that now. So there you go. I will say that the Iron Pup, so you guys can see it as well. I took 3 of his knives to 12,000 grit. The Iron Pup, while it is really thick, that's at 12,000 as well. I don't think this is going to cut the way you think it does. I don't want you to think it's the edge. This is a very thick bladed knife, even though it's got a relative hollow. It's, oh, wow. Okay, I didn't expect that. So now, what would you guys like to talk about while I finish my beer? I actually did pour a 32-ounce beer right before this. Okay, so Aaron Frederick is probably going to be a guest on this show. I am very good friends with Aaron Frederick. I love that dude. When I got to meet him the first time, it was at Vegas. It was a Tactical Knife Invitational at Vegas. I got invited as a maker and as a reviewer. And so I was there, and I met Aaron Frederick for the first time. And I quickly realized that Aaron Frederick and I are the same fucking person. And we sat there, and we talked, and we leaned up in the back corner, and there was a guy that we both knew that was a colonel in the Army Airborne colonel. And he knew me and Aaron, and he came back. He said, oh, so this is where the badasses hang out. Nice. And I'm like, sir, and we hung out. So Aaron Frederick, his wife comes back from being up in their room and stuff. And we're in the back corner, and she hears me and Aaron talking, and she looked at me and she looked at Aaron. She says, I'll be goddamn if there aren't fucking two of you. Aaron and I made fast friends. I hung out with Aaron the entire show. Anytime Aaron is at a show, I spent a lot of time with him. So I will tell you that Aaron is probably one of the best dudes in the knife community. If you can support him, absolutely support him. Aaron makes some of the nicest knives for work. He makes some incredibly well done custom knives, and his combat knives are purpose driven, and they're based on what he and I here's the thing. Aaron and I, while we're both knife makers, we act the same, we think the same, we talk the same. Aaron and I did the same job on different sides of the country. We were in the same unit, same command, just he was on the East Coast, I was on the West Coast. And I mean, I love Aaron. If Aaron called me right now and told me that he needed me to drive across the country for him to help him with something, I'd be like, I'm on my way. Pack a bag. If you really want to support someone in the knife community that has been around for a while, everybody seems to think that Aaron is like new to the knife community and stuff like that. The guy's been around forever. Like, he was one of the first guys that was making top flippers back in the day. And then he joined the Navy. He's part of the Knife Makers Guild. His knives, he guarantees them with if you do it to your knife, I'll fix it kind of guarantee. So, I mean, it's like Bark River Knives guarantee. And the fact that he just doesn't get the recognition that he's due really, really, really upsets me. As a matter of fact, if my phone wasn't all the way across the room, I'd show you. Right before we started this, I was texting back and forth with Aaron. I love the dude. I talk to him all the time. Probably one of my favorite guys in the entire knife community. I love the guy. I treat him. I feel like I honestly feel like we were brothers that were separated at birth. So if you want to support someone in the knife community, go get a hold of Frederick Knives and see if he can make you a knife. Right now, you know what he's doing? He was wrenching. He was wrenching at a Chevy dealership. And now he's like the maintenance. I can't put up a link. Well, let's see. Can I put up a link? Can you guys be patient? Close that. Close that. Close that. Close that. Plus that. Got to be patient. I'm doing it. Frederick Knives. Knifes. Frederick Knives. Well, here you go. We're going to pull this up. Oh, he's going to be so mad at me for this. Like, you showed them that shit? Frederick Knives home. This is the home of Aaron Frederick Knives. Aaron Frederick, I've been making knives since 1994 and forging my own Damascus. The guy makes some good shit. Standard issue knives, SMKs. These are gorgeous knives. VBSS combat knives. The Breacher. So Aaron and I did the same job. Automatics. He's got some automatics that he's made. And we're talking It's like automatic. But if you look at this, look at the prices on these. Fixed blade, $375. Folders are $500. Neck knives. Aaron made some badass neck knives. More. So, I mean, the guy's a great dude. He's helped me out a bunch. I tried to help get some last bottle of suds. What else I got to do? I filled this up. I filled the Papa didn't raise no commie up with a my favorite beer in the world, guys. My favorite beer in the world. They didn't have a 6-pack of it, or we would have had more of it. Victoria. This is the Victoria Mexican beer, Cerveza Modelo Mexico. I love that beer. That is probably my favorite. Like if I had to only have one beer, like I always like to ask people if I could only have one knife for the rest of my life, what would it be? If I could only have one beer for the rest of my life, it would be that. Chicago, did I design the sea snake? Yes, I did. Chicago 23, I did design the sea snake and the stonefish. You'd think as a knife designer that I'd have one of my knives ready at all times, and I don't. They're all the way across the garage. But that's okay, because this was a podcast. We're going to go until I finish that beer. We're not doing this like 4.5 hour thing. I have things I have to do tomorrow. But I wanted to change something here and tell you, don't forget to ask me about the summer sharpening sale prices. And check out my affiliate links down below. I forgot to put that up there. I definitely wanted to have the 22 veterans a day while Adam was here. A great podcast of that. Oh, I need story time. You guys want a story from me again? Like, I mean, I got a lot of stories, but let me see. You guys want to hear about the time I built a bomb in my dad's basement? So my father would tell this story to anyone that would listen. So I was about 14 or 15, and I was like, am I going to design a folder, Ed? I don't. No. Wait. I don't think so. Fixed blade knives are fun. Trying to come up with a design for a folding knife, I believe, is going to be taxing and difficult, and I'm not going to enjoy it. Need an extra 12K stone mic? No, I've got one that lasts pretty well. So I was messing around one day, and I thought to myself, I was like, I saw a snake go down a hole. Oh no, I'm telling a different story. Okay. So back and forth. I saw a snake go down a hole, and it led us 2 different directions, because it definitely led to 2 different incidents. Anyway, I see a snake go down a hole in the yard, and I thought to myself, I was like, self, you could probably make a bomb. Walter G, a budget line. Most of his knives are $300. They're custom made, handmade. Who needs a budget line from Aaron Frederick when his custom knives are $300? That is a budget line. He needs a premium line. At any rate, so I see this snake go down a hole, and I'm like, I could make a bomb. I could take care of that. So I was messing around, and we always had gunpowder around. We reloaded, and so I took a bunch of red dot powder, and I put it in a glass Coke bottle. And I was in the basement. I'm like, how am I going to light this? And I didn't know anything about compression or explosives. At the time, I was like 15. I didn't know any of this crap. I didn't really know how a gun worked until I joined the military. And then I took a job where, well, all I did was guns. And then I learned real well how they worked. And so I take this glass bottle, and I pour a bunch of gunpowder in it, lay it on its side. And I'm like, well, how am I going to light this? And I'm like, well, I bet I could make a fuse. And so I took a paper towel, and I twisted it all up, and I dripped wax from a candle all over it, and I crushed gunpowder into the hot wax. And I took like you know how you can roll out paper towels and you pull them out. And so I just took them, I rolled them up, and I gave myself a little bit of length, and I shoved it down inside this Coke bottle. And I was in the basement, and I had everything ready, and I was so full of myself. I was like, I got this. I made a bomb, and I got ready to strike the match. And that's when my dad took the wide part of his foot and put it right between my butt cheeks, where your butthole is, and he kicked me clear across the basement. He goes, boy, what the fuck do you think you're doing? And I was like, making a bomb. He looked at me, he says, in the goddamn basement. And I was like, well, it's raining outside. And my father would tell that story at parties. He'd be like, I come down the steps and that boy's got that glass bottle and he's getting ready to strike a match. He said, I kicked his ass clear across the basement. I said, I looked at him. I said, what do you think you're doing? I said, that boy looked at me straight-faced and told me, well, it was raining outside. He said, I'm building a bomb. He said, what, in the basement? And he looked at me straight-faced. He's like, in the basement? And he said, it's raining outside. He's like, I looked at the boy and I was like, well, at least his logic is sound. So my father and I were both really, really into science and math. Well, not math. Not me. My dad was in math, but like history and just being, like studying and learning something new. Right. But I forgot where I grew up. And so I came home here a few years ago and we went to what we call pig picking, smoked a pig. And so we're smoking a pig and everybody's hanging out. And I got to talking about something scientific. And my dad heard me and he saw what I was talking, heard what I was talking about, and saw the people I was talking to. And he looked at me. He's like, come over here, boy. It's like, what? And he goes, you can't talk to them like that. And I was like, what? He goes, boy, like, do you see the looks them fuckers are giving you? I was like, what? And he goes, you can't talk to them like you're talking to me. I was like, what do you mean? He goes, they're farmers and they're dumb. He's like, you can't talk to the people that we spend time. He's like, do you see me talking to him? I was like, no, when you talk to your friends, it's like, you sound like an idiot. And he goes, exactly. He's like, you talk to them like that, and then something's going to go sideways. He's like, then they're going to show up at your door and they're going to drag you out of your house and they're going to drag you behind a car. And they're like, string him up. The crops are brown. It's his fault. Did you hear that stuff he's saying? I didn't understand a word he said. It's his fault. He's a witch. He's a warlock. He's like, you can't do it. Like, talk to him about like beer, tobacco, maybe weed. Like, don't talk to him about like anything, like any of the stuff we talk about at the house, like science and all these other things. Just don't do that. You're confusing them. It's like, look, they're railing. Like, yeah, I heard it. He said that like that. I don't even know what that word is. The crops are brown. Get him. It's his fault. He's a witch. That's how I grew up. He's like, boy, I know you're smart, but you ain't got to show everybody. Don't show them. Show somebody else. Go find somebody that understands. You talk to them about tractors and internal combustion. I don't even do that. Just like they don't understand internal combustion. Just they understand press down, go, take off, go. That's it. It's like you don't explain to them like the theories of internal combustion and thermodynamics. They don't understand that shit. They're farmers. They're dummies. Talk to them about tannerite. They love that shit. You shoot it, it blows up. There was a lot of Amish where I live. I grew up in the middle of Amish country. I'm Southeast Ohio, close to Pennsylvania. Absolutely, it is so hot in here right now. I don't know what has happened. It has started raining outside. It's gotten really humid. It's really hot in this garage. So who all still here? We got, Jesus, I'm not drinking fast enough to get this done any crop dusting. I will tell you something we used to do on the ship. So I used to smoke. And I used to dip. And a lot of times I could dip on the ship, but if you wanted a break, you had to smoke. I dipped all the time. But like if you dipped, you didn't get a break from work because so you tell your boss, you get a smoke break? Oh, of course. If you didn't smoke and you asked for a break, they're like, fuck you. So a lot of people smoked. But you would go to this area on the ship where you were authorized to smoke. And it's called the smoke pit. And we would Hey, bro, you can ship as many viewers over to this as you want tomorrow, like 4 p.m. after I've put up mid-roll ads so that I can make more money on the views. Guys, I don't know if you know that I put mid-roll ads. I have to. That's like basically it. It's just if you get ads in a video, it's there because I just like I have to. That's how this channel makes money. I apologize for ads and stuff like that. But at any rate, I forget what I was talking about. Hell, what was I talking about? Oh, so you would go to the smoke pit. Well, there was this thing that was going around. So we all wore coveralls. And you smoke a cigarette and somebody would be like, hey, hold this for me for a second. You just kind of like open the pocket of your coveralls and they drop in your pocket. Well, when they do that, they hold this for a second and you just like drop something in their pocket. It was completely it wasn't anything bad. Like they're like, oh, okay, sure, no problem. And you drop it in their pocket and you drop a lit cigarette in their pocket. Man, we used to do that to each other all the time. So I have a favor to ask from you guys now that I thought about it. And Adam's been gone. I definitely don't want this to be 3 hours. I'm going to try and get off of here in about another 9. I am trying. So now I have upgraded the studio that you're currently seeing so that I can actually just take the audio from this and put it up. Does anyone know? And if you do know, please contact me. My email is it's going to be right here. I'll put it right here. I'll just do this. No, there's no space in it. At Gmail. So it's gunmonkey1974 at gmail.com. If you guys know how actually turn this into an actual podcast so that I can put this up on like Spotify and Apple Podcasts or however, let me know so I can start doing that, because I just went ahead and I coughed up another $240 for this whole podcast thing so that we can rebroadcast this on other platforms. So I don't know if it's going to be video only or audio only or video. Oh, as a matter of fact, it arrived. Jeremy, it's here. It's here. I don't know if it's going to work. I'm going to give it a try. If it doesn't, I'll just return it. I bought it on Amazon. It showed up today. I don't think it's going to work for what I want, because the only way for me to do it is to put it in front of me, and it's going to be the same problem as having a tripod. So I'm going to give it a shot, and we'll see. If that doesn't work, Nick Shabazz sent me a bunch of stuff that he uses, and I could probably figure something out that way. So I just don't think that it's going to get. I don't think it's going to get me where I'm going. It may not. We'll give it a shot. Great music never dies. What are we talking about? Guys, give me a second. I'll be right back. I got to turn this fan. I'm sweating like a prostitute confessional. Woo! I don't know how we bumped that fan. What was this? So I put up a Facebook post the other day, and my cousin was upset with me because it made him look like an idiot. I may have mentioned this in the previous post. I went to a Motley Crue concert with my cousin. We were on the same ship. My cousin Chad, one of my best friends in the world. And it's a long time ago. And so we were at the Zip Center in Fukuoka, Japan. And we were both drunk. And he's sitting there and he keeps yelling for them to sing Running with the Devil. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I had been here at the house and I had loaded the glass saxophone with the jazz cabbage. And that's what made this whole thing. I relived that entire evening while I was just debilitated, because I forgot how incredibly strong the stuff that the dude gave me, because he grows weed for a well-known rapper. And so I was sitting here and I was just debilitated. I couldn't even move. I was like, I actually slept on this love seat, which is half my size. And I was sitting here and I kept going back to that night. And I was like, something about that night. Like, we were at the Zip Center and we were in the stands and we were screaming and hollering. We were listening to music. And I'm like, all of a sudden I realized what was wrong. Because in my head, I was reliving that entire night. And I looked over and Chad was yelling. he was screaming for him to play Running with the Devil. And I'm like, this is 20 years later. I'm like, motherfucker, that's a goddamn Van Halen song. We were at a Motley Crue concert. And you're screaming for them to sing Running with the Devil? Wrong concert. Happens. Life happens sometimes. I saw, so in 1992, I saw Metallica, Guns N' Roses, and Primus in Buffalo, New York. And I wasn't even supposed to be at that concert. I definitely was not where I was supposed to be that day. Coachella. Oh, crapchella. So, honest opinion, did you guys enjoy this podcast? Was this something that was fun? Because the fact is, since I set the new recording studio up before I started this, I should be able to rebroadcast this somewhere else. So if any of you guys know how to do that, I'm going to try and do it. I want to get this podcast out to other places. It seems like it's fun. I'll probably edit it. This part won't be on the actual podcast. You love it. See, Jeremy, you were all upset about how I was going to handle the the slicey dicey issue, and I handled it very well. I really hope that he is able to do it. I'm skeptical. I'm skeptical as to whether he's actually going to execute all the things he said he was. And for everybody that is like, for everyone that is like, oh, well, he already apologized. You know what? I fuck up all the time. And an apology can only go so far. I'm married. I know that. Apologizing is one thing, making things right. What I don't want to see is apology and then some minor changes, and then he comes back and he's doing the same thing again, which is why I do this every year. The whole Paulo Balzano thing. There are bad actors in this community, and I don't want it to sully things and spoil things for us, because guys like Paulo are even worse than guys like Slicey. Like Slicey, he makes it hard for reviewers. Paulo makes it hard for the knife community. Like, just the fact that he thinks that he's he's the one, he thinks that he's the victim here because we're picking and we're doing this. And I've actually had videos taken down, and I've had to, he blocked me and all these other things. He thinks that he's the one that's being pushed and oppressed, and he's not. He's the one that, like Uncle Roger said, if you take a bunch of money and you don't make knife, you're fucked up. And that's just how it is. And I appreciate that you guys are willing to hang out in my garage with me for 2.5 hours and just talk about knives. It feels like a community thing. It really does, and I really appreciate it. What does Nick Shabazz like? You ever watch his videos? Yeah, he's about like that. No, I'm kidding. Nick is a really great guy, and I talk to Nick real regular. And Nick and I have vastly different views, political and things like that. Nick will see me post up something on Instagram, and he goes, "Hey, I don't know if I'd post that up. That's you're going to lose some customer base." And I tell Nick, and I was like, "There's a lot of times that, like, if you're the kind of guy that just wouldn't come to my business because of a post I put up, well, then I probably don't want to deal with you." So Nick and I are vastly different when it comes to some of these things, but then the fact is we share that common ground, and Nick is just generally a really, really good guy. Some people are like, I bet he's a dickhead. Nick is an awesome guy. To put it in perspective, and I've said this a bunch of times, I was in Vegas, and I had so many people that I could have invited to come eat dinner with me on my birthday. And you know who, out of everyone at the show in Vegas, do you know who I invited? I invited Nick Shabazz, Eric and Will from Touch Knives, father and son, Aaron Frederick, Nico Urbano. That's who was there. Nick Shabazz, the Touch guys, Aaron Frederick, and Nico. And that's who was there. So that should tell you something. Like, I had the entire knife world to pick from. And that's who I picked. Well, Ken, I'm not going to get into that because that's his choice. It's not even a liberal thing. It's a more of a non-conflict thing. Nick is very non-confrontational about anything. If you've noticed, Nick has shied away from any controversy. Nick has shied away from making any political statements, and it's a wise choice. I'm very opinionated, and I will speak my mind. So that's the nice, like I tell Nick, that's the nice thing. We might have vastly differing opinions, but the fact is we can at least voice them to each other in a rational manner, which is something that the rest of this country is drastically lacking. They really are. So, guys, I love you all. I mean, I don't know what else I can say. We've been in here for 2.5 hours. I'm going to end this. If you guys liked it, give it a thumbs up. If you really liked it, share it with everybody. There's affiliate links down below. There's memberships. You guys see there's a lot of people here that are members. I can't tell you how much I appreciate the fact you're willing to support my channel. The fact that people are dropping super chats and things like that's amazing. I'm never going to be that guy. I'm not like Dark Side Phil where I'm like, well, I'm just not going to do anything until somebody drops a super chat. I'm not. I enjoy getting to ring the bell. That's about it. So affiliate links down below. Videos 5 days a week. You guys take it easy. And if you know how I can get this on different platforms, please let me know. By all means, I want to get this podcast to different areas, and maybe we could make this an actual thing. And I'm not going to change a freaking thing. It's going to be just like this as long as I live in this house. So let's take it easy. I haven't eaten supper yet. I'll see you next time. Go follow Jared's channel because I guarantee he sent some people here. Take it easy. Love y'all. Bye. I always forget about the 2 buttons. Would you like to end your broadcast? Yes. Would you like to end your broadcast? Yes, I said yes the first time.